This is the next big pot.
Chad Elini, scored a contest, 112-115. Chad Paul Thomas, 112-115. Chad Donald Trella, 113-115. The winner. Thomas, 112-115. Super featherweight champion of the world. From Cambridge, in Scotland, Ricky Burns. Victory comes through for Ricky Burns. A huge shot in the arm.
I laid out the blueprint. Yes, they gave him the decision. They gave him the fight. He beat me, but the blueprint is right there. Just look at it. I took it out of the vault and I handed it over to Canelo Alvarez.
Harrison's the biggest moment in boxing. After your reaction to David Price after Colby called me out, I'm injured, yeah? I'll fight David Price any day of the week. You see, you come from Liverpool. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious damage. Big stiff in you, okay? Alright, thanks a lot.
No, brilliant, like I say, for the centre itself, those communities, and Amir Khan gets the big fight with Pacquiao and the world champions, and lads that are coming through. It'll be a fantastic. I'd equate this to the Kronk in America way back in the time.
You know what? Fuck Joe Gallagher. Fuck Joe Gallagher. Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher. Fuck Joe Gallagher. Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher.
I got him in a cage right now. Not the cage.
The plan is to have Algieri knock Pacquiao out.
Yes, but I still got him in a cage. He listens to me very well. I'm gonna let him loose.
Round 10?
Round 10 or 11. I'm gonna let him go.
Now we have one other thing to do, and that's to fight Thomas Hearns. And I'm planning on breaking every bone in his body.
But what works is they're going to go and chase Leo Santa Cruz. I told them, and I told them on Wednesday, you're not going to get Santa Cruz. Like I told them, you're not going to get Martinez.
Now, coming to you live, the next big pot!
Welcome back to the next big pod. I'm your host, Brian King. On the call tonight, we've got Sam, Shep, Cal, and Alex has made a return again. Another fucking return. So, I know we've done a podcast on Friday to talk shit about Brook and Golovkin. And it just so happens it's kind of fell into place that the Kovalev fight's just finished, so we can delve into that and maybe talk about Rigo and shit on something. I'll shit nonce. We'll talk about that. But I was talking to. I tried to kind of build bridges earlier on with the boxing asylum. So I phoned Seb, and we were just kind of chatting shit, and we get talking about. You know what it's like. See, when you talk to another guy, you just end up talking about shagging and stuff like that, don't you? So I think that's how we broke down the barriers, and I recorded the conversation with me and Seb, so I'm just going to play just so everybody knows that we're all pals again. So here's to the boxing asylum.
You can put up with all manner of madnesses if you're getting your things, innit?
Bruv, I ain't even getting that.
What? You ain't getting your things?
Okay. Sunday night, we're in her bedroom. I'm about to introduce her to Dwayne Jr. Esquire. She's like, I really want to, but you have to ask permission first.
Okay, so you gotta ask permission first. That's cool. That's like a legal thing, isn't it? You gotta do that nowadays. It's like a sexual prenup.
No. Not her permission.
Okay. You gotta ask the bus juice.
Mr. Wise. I have to ask Mr. Wise.
Who the fuck's Mr. Wise? Tell me it ain't her dad with a camcorder in the wardrobe.
Bruv, Mr. Wise is a nasty, evil fucking owl tattooed large on the girl's back. Owl. Owl. owl on her back, staring at me, judging me.
An owl. Jeez, you can put up with war.
Fucking Seb, man, what a character. You know? Fucking, it's just a G thing. So, big respect to him. We're all fucking mates. I'm going to get down to his gym one day. None of your council shite that likes a cow. Or is it... What's Cal's name?
Calzone.
I'm not going to get down to one of these smelly bastard gyms. We'll go to the fucking legit gyms, but big up to my man Sebastian.
If any of the listeners are ever in South Central LA, then drop by Seb's gang hideout and say hi to him from us.
Show my bro some fucking respect, yo. Right, so the fight is just finished. I only got to see a couple of rounds yet. For what I watched, Kovalev didn't look too good, but like I said on Twitter, I don't think there's ever been a guy that's actually looked good at fighting against Chilemba. I think he's actually more underrated because of the two crap fights with Bellew. I'll admit I never ever watched the rematch because the first one was that bad that I refused to watch the rematch. But I can remember on the night of the fight, and people that were in the crowd, there were plenty of Scousers. They had Brook Bellew losing that fight. He got the draw, but a lot of people had the fight. And as Bellew says, who beats Isaac Chilemba? Who does? And if Kovalev goes 12 rounds with him, so I don't know. I was always going to pick Andre Ward with that, but we'll go into that fight. But did everybody watch the full? Brian did pick Chilemba, aye.
Yeah.
Did everybody watch the full 12 rounds, aye?
Yeah. I mean, he was a count hair away from being stopped in the 7th round, and even in the 8th round. I mean, Chilemba's a fucking hard bastard. I've said this to several people. I think that I wouldn't have argued against him being stopped after he went down. I mean, would you call that premature stoppage? The ref gave him a very wide berth, I thought. And
Alex, it reminded me, sorry to interrupt, it reminded me of, do you remember when Algieri got knocked down in, I think it was like the 9th round against Pacquiao or whatever, and he was just all over the place?
Yeah.
I think the referee had to ask Chilemba to put his gloves up 3 times before he actually did it.
Yeah, he
I thought
didn't know where he was.
If he'd been a second slower, I think he would have waved it off. I wouldn't have had a problem with it, yeah.
But no, he absolutely caused Kovalev problems, I think ultimately what it boils down to, it was a case of Kovalev, he wasn't at his best. He didn't enter that fight in his prime. He had an eye on Ward. Obviously, he had an eye on Ward. He's looking ahead to this massive, huge pay-per-view fight with Ward in November. And I think that he overlooked Chilemba, like a lot of people overlooked Chilemba, because, again, the Bellew fights are a bit shit. And the Alvarez fight was, a bit bang average as well, I think. And you just think, well, yeah, Kovalev should be able to deal with this guy. And I think even he thought that his, second or third best performance might, easily wipe this guy out. And it did, really. I mean, it didn't wipe him out in the sense of knocking him out, but, he easily won the fight. The jab certainly confused Kovalev and hit him quite a lot. He couldn't land the right hand as efficiently as he liked, I mean, I think Chilemba utilised the ring well. It was a very small ring. He still used it quite well. And ultimately, it's a case of just a mix of the two. Kovalev was not as prepared as he should have been, and that's his own fault. You can't blame anyone else. And Chilemba was a very determined and hard and tricky fucker.
I noticed a couple of times obviously we watched the Box Nation feed, but there were a couple of times where Barry Jones was saying like, oh, I think if he puts the pressure on now, he can get him out of there. If he sort of throws with a bit more abandon. But yeah, like you said, if you've got Ward next in the biggest fight of your career, the biggest fight you're ever gonna have, then maybe you don't throw those extra few punches for fear of sort of something coming back. And they kept saying, oh, he's looking for the perfect punch. He's looking for the perfect punch. I think maybe that was him wanting
I don't think he feared. I don't think he feared what was coming back.
No, but maybe it's just you'd be a bit more conservative.
Because even like a clash of heads, if it causes a bad cut, that could fuck up that October-November date. If it's a deep enough cut, bad enough cut. So.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying he was like he had a completely different game plan because of the Ward fight or anything.
I don't agree with that at all because
You
everybody
didn't watch the fucking fight.
No. Everybody knows Chilemba is one of the dirtiest fucking fighters in boxing. So
He wasn't even that dirty.
He wasn't
that's the thing.
dirty.
He didn't do anything.
Barely.
So you don't take a fight with somebody this dirty in the understanding that you've got the Ward fight and you're feared to throw a punch. You know he's going to be dirty when he can be.
Yeah, I mean, this is perfect preparation as well. That's what you got to consider.
Exactly.
He
really
took this fight knowing.
He really wasn't dirty though. Like, I mean, he only held when he was hurt. You know, like anyone would.
Well, and he smothered when obviously Kovalev got him in the corner, as any fighter would.
Yeah.
You know, Kovalev is a master of range, and if you can close the range on him and stop him from getting those punches, then you're going to do that. I don't think that his holding or his smothering was excessive. It was just what he does. I think being awkward.
It wasn't an ugly fight, was it? Not really.
No, not really. It was quite a slow pace, though. I think it was just sort of. It was a bit of a. It never really got a second gear, did it? I mean, apart from
there was a moment in the 12th round where it was like 30 seconds of just going for it, but other than that, it was just one pace, really, wasn't it? There was not a lot of.
Well, in the middle,
major
obviously.
action.
When
when he dropped him, he went for it a bit, but it was not long left in the round for him to finish it.
I think Kovalev, when he actually started mixing his punches up, as I said before, like when he started throwing uppercuts, working in the body and stuff, and actually using his combinations, he actually had really good success, and that's what led to the knockdown. But I think because he didn't train properly, and because Bunt said this, I mean, take Bunt's word with a pinch of salt, but he was saying that he had a lot of promotional commitments in Russia. He was fucking about with Valuev, hunting boars or some shit. His wife just had a kid, and obviously he's got the Ward fight on the horizon. I think that he just didn't take the fight seriously.
Bunt was going off on one like it was a sort of Lewis Rackman situation where he'd been in Hollywood until like a week before the fight or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't look anywhere near, like he wasn't out of shape. We saw it before the weigh-in, right? He put on like 6 pounds overnight, which is the sign that a guy is in very good shape. But like you say, he did gas, and yeah, he clearly wasn't in that kind of in the zone like he tends to be when he's in the States. Yeah.
But don't you think it's just one of them where he landed his best fucking shot? He got back up and he just thought, my gas tank might not be as good as it normally is. I'll just take it easy for the last 4 rounds and get the decision, because that's what it seemed like to me until the last minute of the fight. From round 9 to round 11, he pretty much did nothing.
Yeah.
And they just both walked about. And I think if you land your best shot on someone and they get back up, must be a bit disheartening. And then you just think, I'll just fucking take the decision. No point in taking any risks now. I've got it wrapped up.
Yeah, and he was never in any danger of losing, was he? Like, let's be real.
Chilemba can't really punch, can he? He can do everything else quite well, but his powers.
Yeah, I mean,
average.
He caught Kovalev with some pretty flush shots, but none of them really made him think twice. I mean, he wasn't wobbled, he wasn't stunned at all.
He hurt him to the body, though, I thought.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Don't you think with how us and the Asylum, we both, was it 15 people out of 15 went Kovalev KO? It's a bit disrespectful to Chilemba, who's never been stopped and fought some decent guys, and he's always hard to hit. I think it's a bit of an oversight by us. Obviously, I would still expect the majority, but Hopkins got the distance. I know he's a hard bastard, but
a few of us did mention that we thought it would be close, and we wouldn't. I don't think anyone.
Oh, so you picked both sides of the coin.
Well, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, like me and Paul were very careful to say that.
Brave. What a brave pick.
Me and Paul picked the KO, but also were very careful to say that we also thought it would go the distance. So
I'm pretty sure I had Chilemba beating Alvarez in his last fight.
I think I had that draw. It was a close fight.
But yeah, two of his draw and one of his losses could have easily been wins. Like you said, Brian, the first Bellew fight, I don't think I even bothered scoring it because it was so shit, but definitely...
What are his losses? I can't remember who else he lost to.
I think he lost a couple of times in Africa to me, I think.
And he lost against fucking Wilberforce Shihip.
He drew with Oosthuizen, didn't he? Or whoever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fucking solid top 10 light heavyweight. I'm not making excuses here. We all thought that Kovalev was going to absolutely wipe him out, but and I said that in the chat and I get kind of shot down. I think he was carrying him a bit because he's normally this vicious finisher that as soon as he sees a guy hurt, he just goes in for the kill. But see, when he had him hurt, He didn't go on his like his usual self bombing away, and for some reason he was kind of working the body a lot more than North. But normally he's a bit of a headhunter. But
what do you
I said he had success when he went to the body. I think
Yeah.
he realised that he had to go there, and then he just gassed, I think, and that was it. He just thought, well, I'm not going to risk any sort of, anything really. So he just turned the gas off from, like, as Cal said, from rounds 9 to 11, really.
I mean, the Chilemba's tough as fuck. I don't know. We'd need to kind of delve into his like background and all that. But is he from South Africa?
Malawi.
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 Don't be racist, Brian.
I mean, is Blantyre Malawi? That's like just up the road for Blantyre.
I actually think Seb's family are from Malawi originally. Seb's family, mate.
Malawi's got a fucking seriously. It's got a
Very poor, incredibly poor.
But he lives in South Africa now. That's the thing. He lives in South Africa now.
It's not just incredibly poor. It's got really fucking bad reputation for child abuse. Do we know whether he's been molested or not as a boy?
Well, Brian, one thing that I do think is important is that this fight actually gave him rounds and was like a good fight. He's tall, he's awkward like Ward. Ward's a bit short, I think. He looked quite big, Chilemba, but I just think his preparation's so much better, Chilemba fight, than a Brand, and that's why I'm still sticking with my man. I think Ward's top 5 years.
Cal, let's be real. What's better for what is he in a better position now, or if he'd fought Alexander Brand and knocked him out in a round?
Yeah, that's why I'm still high on my man.
I still think. I don't know. I mean, we always said it was very close, didn't we? I think everyone on the panel, like, no one was sort of 100% one way or the other. I was edging towards Ward, I said a few weeks ago. I think I probably still am. But then again, Ward could end up looking shit and pedestrian against Brand. And then all these idiots now who are saying, yeah, Kovalev's got no chance, he's going to get schooled.
Oh, people saying, like, it's schooling and stuff. They're making me feel sick.
Someone's saying that? It's going to be Hopkins Trinidad all over again.
Our mate Macho were on the other day. He's been banging the drum.
Yeah, but he's trolling to a point, and if no one can honestly say with any conviction that Kovalev is going to knock out Andre Ward or Andre Ward's going to school Kovalev. You just don't know, really.
No.
That's the interesting thing of the fight, isn't it? That's what you want. No one's sure.
And anyone will admit that it will be very close either way.
Yeah, you can argue for both sides, and there's good arguments for both sides, saying Kovalev wins by knockout or Andre Ward can school him. There's arguments both sides, isn't there? But no one can say 100% and not expect anything back in the opposite way.
I think Ward can hurt Kovalev as well, and I think Kovalev can outbox Ward at points. I think the beauty of it is that both guys can win in multiple ways. It's not just like the boxer versus the spoiler versus the slugger. Both guys are better than that and more kind of multi-dimensional as fighters. And I do think Chilemba landed a few flush shots, and Ward. He's not a power puncher, but he can punch reasonably well, and he can time his shots well. And I think, Kovalev would feel those if Ward landed those sort of punches. But then again, one of the questions we had in was how does Ward react if he gets hit by that right hand that Kovalev landed in the 7th round? Does he go down as well? Does he stay down? What happens? Ward's been down before and he's been hurt. And that was a beautiful punch that put Chilemba down. What do we think? What happens if that lands on Ward in the mid-round?
I don't think Ward shits it.
Last fight. He get marked up, and what was the guy's name that he was fighting last?
Barrera.
Yeah, he was landing. Barrera was landing punches in that fight. Yeah.
And Kovalev's far more active. He's got far more power. I'm always going to pick Ward, because I favour that, and I'm probably just trying to be a hipster. But
there's nothing hipster about picking Ward. He's the favourite.
He's the establishment, mate. Yeah.
But I just feel that Kovalev fucking really struggled at times when he was getting tied up as well, and that is one thing that I always said that Ward see for somebody to beat Golovkin, I've always said that you're going to need to be able to take the power. You're going to have a right proper inside game, and that is fucking Ward right down your tee, and I think that is how he's going to be able to tangle Kovalev up, get him frustrated, and we all know Ward can frustrate anybody, and Kovalev's looked that good in every single fight that we've actually watched him. It's hard to criticise him here because he's not had one of his better performances. I don't want to be one of the people that as soon as somebody has a shit performance, like, fuck that, Kovalev's a fucking bum. You know how all the fans that are just desperate to see some honky lose a fight because they're desperate to be proven right about their black slicksters, but...
No, they're just desperate to spot a trend before anyone else. But the problem, they only ever focus on one fight at a time, so it's impossible to spot a trend. I tweeted earlier that do you remember Holyfield in the fight before he beat Tyson the first time? He fought Bob Spears and looked shite, and everyone said, "Yeah, he's done.
He's getting chinned." Wasn't Holyfield like 25-1?
Yeah, exactly. And then he comes out like we were saying earlier. You know, if Kovalev fights at that level against Ward, he'll get beaten easily. But you're stupid if you think that he's going to come in at that level of intensity, you know, having had that level of training. Like, he's going to be in a much better mental and physical state when he fights Ward. And Ward was very stupid not to prepare for the best Kovalev rather than the one we just saw tonight.
And also, Chilemba's better than the last three guys he's been in with. That's what. Well, no, not Hopkins, but he's a lot better than fucking Pascal now in terms of.
Would Chilemba beat Pascal now?
I think he
would.
Yeah, he'd tie him up easily. Yeah.
And I just think that Chilemba's been a bit of a step up from his recent fight. I'm not saying that's a good thing, because boxing's fucking shit for that. Like, you don't get enough high-level fights, but I think Chilemba's a relative step up, and
Chilemba's only a step up in preparation, isn't it?
But it's not as good as Ward, but at least it's a step up, and it'll give him something. He won 9 rounds and he got a knockdown, so I don't think.
What he wants is Chilemba to spar with for Ward. That's what he'd want.
He said that.
Well, that's what I think he should do. Yeah. He should pay fucking, the odds and ask Chilemba to be a sparring partner in preparation for Ward.
Well, Chilemba's competitive from everyone below Kovalev, Ward, and Stevenson, isn't he? You'd pick him. Well, you wouldn't pick him, but
Chilemba could give Stevenson some problems.
I don't know. Say someone like Chilemba versus Cleverly, then. That's a good fight, isn't it? You wouldn't pick Cleverly with any certainty in that. Chilemba can give anyone a fight.
Chilemba, I think, just because Cleverly's a bit worn.
But Chilemba's like a good Sakio Bika. Like, he can actually box a bit, but he's as tough as him.
But even what about level? Chilemba versus Fonfara.
That'd be a good fight.
Yeah, it's another close one, isn't it? Yeah, and Fonfara's a top 5, or he was a top 5 guy at the weight.
Got fucking chittins, yeah.
See, flip this upside down, though. Chilemba's better than the guys that Kovalev's been fighting, and it doesn't look as good. So, can the people's argument not be he's stepping up a level here and it doesn't look as good, and Ward is even fucking 2 or 3 levels even above that? But you're saying that, you'll be an idiot if you think that Kovalev will know up his game. How do we not know that wasn't his game, and it's just because he's got to that certain level? And I think I did rate Chilemba.
But that's his worst performance in years, Brian. That's why.
You haven't even seen the whole fight, Brian.
It's the intensity
to the listeners. Brian has not seen this.
Yeah, you're being a fucking rocker here, mate.
He's seen a fight.
So be careful.
You know how Kovalev, like when he's on fire and he's fucking intense as fuck, he doesn't just throw one jab and then one fucking big right.
But how do you not know that because Chilemba was throwing the jab straight back at him and kept connecting him, he didn't want to keep coming in the way he was?
Because he walked about for about 5 of the rounds and just did nothing.
His activity level was very low, for large.
Never ever going to do that again.
Chilemba fucking cracked him with some fucking massive shots, and he wasn't bothered by them at all. He wasn't bothered by the power of it. I mean, the jab was very good. It snapped Kovalev's head back, and it certainly had his attention, and it did trouble him and made him think. But we've seen Kovalev a lot better than that.
But also, Alex, like you say, it's not as if people are saying like, oh well, Kovalev, this is the blueprint. You need an awkward boxer. Kovalev's fought awkward boxers before, and he's knocked them out. Like Silak, for whatever he was a pretty slick moving boxer with fast hands, and Kovalev smashed him. Nathan Cleverly was not great, but he was a decent boxer. These guys aren't sort of come from.
Hopkins is the most awkward fucker on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another one. I thought that fight should have been stopped. I thought that should have been stopped. Should have been waved off in the final round, and Kovalev should have been the first guy in 15 years to knock him out or whatever. People think Kovalev has just sort of been knocking over cans, and come forward sort of sluggers, but it's not true. Like he's
My
fought
argu-
quite a wide range of opponents.
My argument about him not being like affected by what was coming back today, I don't think he was scared of what was coming, because Pascal in the first fight is 5 times as dangerous as Chilemba. I'm not saying he beat Chilemba, but in terms of one punch power, he can actually hit, and if he landed clean on Kovalev, then it could have been a different story. So I don't think he was worried about that, because against Pascal, he just fucking rushed him and he just punished him for 7 rounds. So I don't think I just think it was him having a bit of an off night and maybe not training to full capacity. That's about it.
Yeah, he definitely didn't like if you look at the punch stats and stuff, he threw way less than in other sort of recent fights in terms of punches per round and stuff. And I know he hasn't been 12 for a long time, but he threw. I'd wager he threw 30% more punches against Hopkins. Do you know what I mean? Over the 12. And Hopkins is obviously, although he was 50, he was still, you know, seen as a very, very good opponent at the time.
Is it not possible the fact that when was the last time Kovalev fought in Russia?
Simikov, I think. When
Right, so
same arena.
Same arena.
Is it not possible that that's maybe getting his heat, and the fact that I've been away from this country for years, and
that's what I said.
Basically, he's looked in the crowd and he's seen his uncle that used to tamper with him when he was younger. Is it? This is threw him off his game. These are the stuff that other podcasts don't get any. We're taking the psychological edge towards boxing and what could possibly be happening in their minds. We need to anchor us.
No, you're right, Brian. And I was thinking, after the fight, they said that he was giving his purse to Simikov's family, as I think he had done at 1 or 2 fights previously in his career. So his money, he basically wouldn't have made any money from tonight.
What happened in that to Senegov?
He died.
You killed him.
Brian,
in that same arena, in that exact same arena,
he went out
5 years ago.
Like, was pronounced dead within a few minutes. I think it was like really quick.
Yeah, he was in hospital.
Yeah, but wasn't he like he was in a coma, sort of in the changing rooms there, wasn't he? And then he never woke up, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 days or something. It wasn't instant.
Yeah. It was the Jimmy Garcia. I think he was asleep very quickly after the fight, and then he never woke up. But yeah, so his purse tonight went to Simikov, as far as I understand it, and to his family. And you think maybe something like that, knowing that you're not getting the money from the fight, would sort of make you, I don't know, not go into your shell, but just sort of be a bit more.
There you go, Bellblue. That's what you call fucking icing a man.
Like,
actually put him in a grave.
He basically didn't have anything on the line tonight, apart from missing out on a fight down the road. So, you know, it was just a case of he didn't need to look good, did he? He didn't need to look good. He just needed to get the win, like by any means.
I mean, I don't think he's ever been bothered. I mean, he's not really shown that he's been bothered by the Simikov death before. I was wondering if it played on his mind tonight. I mean, he's shown before that. I mean, he loved fucking beating the shit out of Pascal. He loved actually applying more punches and torturing.
He's black though, isn't it?
There was the article I read this week on the Simikov fight, and it did fuck him up. He was proper cut up by it.
Oh yeah. I watched the fight. You watch the fight. He beats the fucking shit.
Horrible. Yeah, when he tries to get up, and then he's like.
2 seconds. Hold on. No, like Cal just turned around and says that he wanted to hurt Pascal because he was black. So. Can somebody please go and tweet Spencer X and ask him if Chilemba's black enough for them to claim him, so we can know whether Kovalev hated him or not?
Black Lives Matter.
Aye. It's called. I bet fucking Spencer X is in Manchester today.
I think Seb has darker skin than Spencer, so maybe ask him first.
There's a Black Lives Matter up in Sheffield tomorrow. I'm just wondering if you will fancy it, G. Seb, come down.
You're such a fucking G.
How's
my Bretman? A Blackshire.
Prick.
We're gonna. I'll teach the rest.
Pussy-o.
Do his accent later on. We'll do it. We'll do a practice live on air.
Before we kind of move on, I keep laughing at this, man. I pissed myself laughing the day at work. I'm going to paraphrase the conversation here if nobody's heard this. And I'm not going to speak in his accent, but I'll just talk my own accent. Brian, I heard you were quite a quiet guy. You were quite a quiet guy, like in real life. You're not like this in the pod. I heard you're a quiet guy. So why are you calling me a fanny pad? As if that's like fucking something serious to ask a person. I'm a pure fucking knob. I was like, why? It's like, of course I'm going to call you a minge pad. But, oh, what a wee guy. Wee Seb, man. I just want to lick his forehead and stick it in the back car of my windy in it. Windy in my back car, or whatever the fuck that off, innit?
What do you think the Asylum are saying now, given how much they were praising Kovalev on Sunday, and considering that it's well known that Golovkin put Kovalev down with a body shot in sparring? Widely confirmed story. And tonight Kovalev was hurt again by body shots. Do we think Kovalev is a fraud and only casuals like him? I don't know.
I do want to say, imagine if Golovkin looked like that over 12 rounds in a fight.
Against a guy like Willie Munro, yeah.
Yeah. Imagine how much.
Or against Billy Joe Saunders. Imagine that against Billy Joe Saunders. He looked like that against, Golovkin against Billy Joe. He's awkward.
Maybe like Toriano Johnson's a good comparison. Like a guy who sort of spoils a lot and sort of clinches and
Golovkin absolutely fucking butchered and then stopped Lemieux, a fellow champion, in 7 rounds.
No, Carly, it's called Lemieux, not Lemieux.
Oh shit, sorry. But then Kovalev beat someone that's always failed at world level, like top world level, and struggles. Like he doesn't even remotely look that good, and he lands one big shot. It's like I think it's a bit rich to say that GGG is a hype job and Kovalev's the second coming.
Maybe Kovalev is a B+ fighter.
Well, I think they're both A+, but it's just I don't see that there's much of a difference between them. I think they're both two of the best fighters in the world.
The difference is people have been willing to fight Kovalev.
Well, the difference is Kovalev's got his breakout fight now.
The difference is Hopkins. That's it.
Maybe, but I mean, yeah. But
Pascal wins no better than beating Lemieux.
Yeah, Pascal wins out on the par with Lemieux.
And the second time was a joke, and Kovalev's only other standout wins Hopkins.
But
Pascal's fucking far better than Lemieux.
Not when Kovalev beat him the first time, he wasn't.
Who had really beat Pascal by that point?
Froch beat him.
Oh, it's like fucking in a pure fucking.
Who's that cunt that Pascal robbed?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, yeah. Unieski Gonzalez, wasn't it? He fucking.
That was in between, though. I think that was in between.
Before the rematch, yeah.
Yeah, Gonzalez, who then went on to lose to that Shabrinsky guy or whatever.
He had that unanimous decision over Butte as well, didn't he? Where you will dispute it, or Tom for dispute.
Because the fight was absolute shit. That's why.
I'm pretty sure I had Butte winning that fight.
He lost to Hopkins in 2011.
And he drew with him before that.
Didn't he lose?
He lost that fight. He lost that fight.
Dawson, or am I imagining that? No? Back in the day?
He beat Chad Dawson.
He beat Chad.
I don't know. I don't think it was points. I don't think it was a knockout either.
But that Butte fight against Pascal is one of the worst fights I've ever seen. The only thing I remember from that fight was the fact that Roy Jones called Max Kellerman Mark about 3 times. That's really funny. And Kellerman kept ignoring it, but I don't know if Jones was like... Do you remember? Because Jones had been training Pascal. Do you remember? And he was like... Jones was getting really like overexcited during the fight. And he kept just saying, Mark. That's a great point, Mark. I mean, Max. I recommend everyone go back and watch it just for that moment. I might try and Vine it later.
Right, so we may as well kind of go into like, we'll probably change our minds on that, but what is your opinion now after watching that fight? Has it changed at all for this Andre Ward?
What was your opinion before the fight, and then what's your opinion now? Everyone list who they thought was going to win.
I was picking Ward.
And no one, we put these on the record about a month ago. So
we all said Ward.
I said Kovalev. I said Kovalev. I've always
been I'm pretty sure you said Kovalev.
No, I didn't. I said Ward.
You don't even know who Ward is. You admitted you went on the
air. Go and buy another wife or something, you prick.
I know.
Prick.
Ainsley was definitely Ward. No, sorry, Ainsley was Kovalev, 100%. And
I think the traitor is Ward.
The traitor. Judas.
I think it's just me and Alex.
Tom said it would be Alex like that Thundridge fight.
Tom's in the Ward KO early.
No, Tom's bet the draw. He's already told me he's put 100 grand on it.
Look, I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to say that it's a more emphatic win for Ward, but I'm always going to pick him. But let's see, at the same time, Ward since he's come back's not been the same fighter either. I feel as if he's having to plant his feet a lot more. He's not as fluid anymore with his movement, and I don't think he's going
different weight.
Well, we know that, but even at that, he doesn't look a big fucking like middle heavyweight either. He looked kind of small fucking next to Barrera.
Barrera's a big guy though.
Yeah, Barrera's a proper fucking.
To you?
Huh?
To you?
He's a big lad, isn't he? He's not
Barrera is a proper 175.
Yeah, do you see the size of his shoulders and arms?
You're a fucking knob. That was a fucking Bane reference there.
What?
Kovalev's about the size of Barrera though. That's so
I don't. It's a right pick on there because I don't know if Ward's going to be able to move. He's clearly not moving as well as he did since coming back.
I don't think it's about movement. I think is he strong enough to contest with Kovalev on the inside?
But if you're as good a boxer as Ward was like a couple of years ago, you don't need to contest with somebody. You can easily fucking outbox somebody for the outside. I think like Ward could outbox Kovalev.
I just think it's dangerous. I don't think he can stand fucking without clinching for 12 rounds against Kovalev. He will get iced. He's gonna have to spoil at points in the fight. I think the ref could play quite a big role if he's one of them that lets you do what you want.
Yeah.
Lets you fight.
That's how I wished it was in New York, so we could have got. Sorry.
If they split him up every time they goes in for a clinch, then I think that'll play into Kovalev's hands because I don't know. It's exciting that there's a fight that. It's 50-50 and it's 50-50 on the fucking panel. It's going to be 50-50 across the board. So.
Who do you think his controls range better, and who do you think's better on the inside?
Oh, Ward's definitely better on the inside.
Amir Khan's the best inside fighter.
Who said that?
That's
what Amir Khan.
That's the funniest thing I've heard anyone say in weeks.
Did somebody say that on the Asylum?
I think it was a joke. To be fair, I think it was a joke.
No, but see what Ward does with inside. He's like, a bit like Floyd, always getting my fucking Floyd reference in there. It's like, he ties him up a wee bit, but he kind of fucking, he steps back just enough where he's able to fucking go to the body. And like, I'll just use Kovalev, and Kovalev's not got enough space to throw anything back, and Ward's fucking perfect for that. I mean, I keep going back to it, and we all know it was 2011, Richmond. He fucking bullied Froch. He pushed Froch backwards for 9 rounds. He gassed in the last few rounds, right? And that's the only rounds I gave Froch. But I'll say it to this day, and I know it might sound like a pure fucking weirdo hipster, that is one of the best performances I've ever seen. For the 9 rounds, it was fucking unbelievable, right? And he bullied the guy. His inside game was fantastic. He fought him with one fucking hand. Whether he can get back to that, I don't know, but...
Exactly.
Man.
Will he be the same at 175 against a really strong fucking hard cunt like Kovalev?
And is Alexander Brand going to tell us?
Exactly. And
no.
This is how the Chilemba fight was fucking perfect for Kovalev.
Ideal world, who would you have Ward fight as his tune-up if you were going to then make a prediction about the Kovalev fight?
Beterbiev.
Exactly.
You're muted. Oh, sorry, Brand. No, oh, you don't. Okay, all right. Ward versus Beterbiev next as a tune-up.
That would be a bit obviously too much because Beterbiev, could easily ice both of them. He's a guy that's obviously we haven't seen much of him lately. I mean, did anyone even watch his last fight? Who was it against?
I don't care about him anymore. He's lost all his momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Was he injured or something? I can't remember. But yeah, it was against.
He's been fighting like 10-rounders and stuff against.
You know what I said, and I would have accepted this. I don't know why you can only go with what the Americans are saying, but they're saying that Ward's getting paid that much money. They've not got any money left to pay opponents, so that's how he's getting kind of guff opponents. I would have accepted Ward v Pascal because I still think Pascal is fucking durable, right? And even bite the fucking bullet and go to Canada for that fight. Fight Pascal, do an absolute fucking number on. He's not going to knock him out maybe the same way as Kovalev, but it's far better than this Brand one. And see that HBO aren't going to pay the money for the opponent. if he goes to Canada, that gets put on pay-per-view, and they're able to afford Pascal. I thought that was the best fucking option to do, but I don't even know Alexander Brand. I have never even fucking heard him.
Nobody. That's the point. That's the point, isn't it?
You know how shit he sounds. I bet he's never been nonced.
if Fonfara didn't get iced, would he have been a good option? You think?
Aye.
He would have got the Stevenson fight, wouldn't he? For sure, he would have got the rematch if he.
Yeah.
I'll need to ask like Kevin Horn, but I don't know how the Shawnee Monaghan fight didn't fucking happen. I'd have thought that'd have been alright. That'd have been decent in New York.
What about Chavez?
Fat Chavez?
Aye.
Fuck that. He's gash.
If he's fucking massive.
Aye, fatness-wise?
You know, he's got a bit of power. He's fucking massive. I think he'd emulate.
Go on, pal.
I was just gonna say he'd emulate Kovalev a bit better than Brand would. He's shit, but.
Do you think Fonfara would, obviously before he got iced, would have been a good opponent because he's similar size, he throws a lot of punches, got a bit of power. I think.
Yeah, likes to get inside and go to work and yeah.
I'm going to message Kevin Horn now and ask him.
I think Fonfara would have been good because Fonfara is a big fucking.
Brand is stepping up in weight for this as well.
Yeah,
I've just looked for his box record. He's 168 all the way through.
If that's the case, why not get Butte?
What about a guy like
He's been popped, didn't he? Butte.
Oh yeah.
What about a guy like? There's really not many on the. I'm looking at the top 15 now. Like, you've got that Alvarez, but I think he's fighting Stevenson, isn't he?
No, Stevenson's fighting someone really fucking shit.
Oh no, yeah, Stevenson's fighting Williams, isn't he? Williams Jr.
Yeah.
Marcus Brown, that wouldn't tell us anything. And then Shawnee Monaghan, Eric Skoglund. Yeah, I mean.
Chat said Bob Adjusef.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe, what about Unieski Gonzalez, someone like that? I don't know, maybe. Again...
He'd have been alright, but he lost his last fight to somebody shit.
Yeah, it's a shame. If he'd won, it would have been perfect.
He was a good fighter, wasn't he? He lost
to Shabrinsky, who's number 5 with the WBC.
Shabrinsky's really fucking coming up through now. He's like a quality Ukrainian lad.
I wondered why the Cleverly fight didn't happen. I mean, that'd have been decent. That'd have been acceptable.
They didn't want to pay his purse because I don't know. They've got some weird deal, haven't they, with Rock Nation and HBO, where Rock Nation are putting all the money up and HBO are just picking and choosing when to actually show his fights. So I don't think they wanted to pay Cleverly. And for Cleverly, you'd have to get paid quite well, wouldn't you, to go to a fight that you're 90% going to lose, maybe more.
How's Callum Smith ranked fucking in the top 10 at light heavyweight? I'm just seeing this.
With who?
The WBO.
What?
Yeah, I've seen that as well. It doesn't make sense.
Well, but think about all the like little shitty fights that they have. They're always at 175, aren't they? Like he fight when they don't make weight unless it's for a title.
But they're fighting a cabbage for an 8-rounder.
Yeah, but Charlie Edwards is in the top 15.
He's ahead of Isaac Chilemba.
Has the winner of Ward Kovalev earned a shot at Callum Smith at Anfield? No or yes?
Not at Anfield, at the Echo Arena.
Not at Anfield. Yeah,
they have to fight Paul first.
I cannot believe Callum Smith makes £168. It's fucking ridiculous.
He's just a big tall pluck.
I know, but he must weigh fucking upwards of 180.
He just flashed all his fucking
if he flashed all that gunk out, he'd fucking be about 4 stone. He'd fight fucking Gonzalez.
PCN.
Right, so are we all, is everybody other than Alex still picking Ward?
No, I'm Kovalev.
I was Ward before, and I'm still Ward, but it's not a massive shift. I don't expect, I don't think it's going to be any easier for Ward as a result of Kovalev's performance tonight. I thought it was sort of 55-45, maybe 60-40 to Ward beforehand, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to do another double prediction. I'm picking Ward, but of course, I also think Kovalev's going to win. So
Is a draw a possibility as well?
well, draws, mate.
No, draws a pussy pick. So
a draw might surprise you lot. It wouldn't surprise me. So I've actually covered myself there, and also a disqualification. I've seen it all in the game. News all over the place. That's a press pass special. Who we were hoping to announce as a signing on the pod, but he shat it, unfortunately.
He's at work tonight, but he will be on next week.
At work, unfortunately.
He's getting shouted at by some woman for fucking up an order.
So not be fucking on my pod. Big fucking lanky.
He's going to bed at 8 o'clock at night, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Press Pass has basically he's committed some sort of fraud at work and missold a clothing unit, and is now in serious trouble.
You know what's disturbing? Like, Press Pass is like 6'7", right? And I don't know what height his bird is. But just imagine that thing being ball naked and Tappy just striding away in Tappy. He's a big fucking horrible white cunt. And he's not even got a bit of colour about him. He's like ghastly. He's like the fucking colour of my fucking white bed sheets. And what is the matter with him? He looks as if he's like dying.
But also, I think most importantly, Brian, he's also a horrible person.
He's a prank.
You know what I mean?
Fucking prank.
Like some of the I don't know, someone like Kurt, bless him, is a very nice guy. So
bisexual.
That's how Kurt gets the ladies. He's got very good fashion and he's a nice bloke. But Paul's he's got terrible fashion. He's a proven liar, as his working record at Benson suggests. He's a fraudster and a liar, and also a horrible person. So,
what was it he said? What was it he said yesterday in the chat? And we was like, "That's disgusting." Even
I've sucked Wayne's pair of tits. I was like, "That's fucking vile, Press Pass."
And then he said to us, "Acceptable for you lot to want the IRA to kill my mum." But I can't say
that was because he fucking slagged Andy Murray. And
he did, yeah.
Yeah, no, he said he wished Murray had been killed as a child. It was quite.
I don't think our new signing's going to be on next week.
Well, he's been. I've heard he's been. Replaced by the asylum. That's all I'm saying.
Orlando Cruz is fighting on Friday.
This is what the chat just said about Press Pass. Like an inbred kid mixed with a mutant.
See with the chat, like, see if him and he's have watched Silicon Valley. Press Pass is like the fucking weirdo guy that stays in the garage that's got no fucking money and no home and all that, and like so somebody stole his house off him. He's that skinny guy with the shirt and trousers every day. That fucking bam. Right, we've done enough fucking slagging Press Pass, right? So
what's that done? Check.
I think we'll go on to. I'm just looking through the fights and that. There's fucking no really anything.
Why don't we do news since Friday, right? So, can anyone confirm this? Because I've heard it's as a rumour that the Eubank has now left Matchroom again. Has that been confirmed or not?
Well, let Carpy give us a little rundown of that also, because he's been watching.
Sorry, that's right. Like, Sam, did any of you watch the Eddie Hearn video today?
Just gone, as we asked.
I haven't seen the home video from today, but I've actually heard it was quite interesting.
Carpy, give us a rundown of the Hearn Eubank situation, because you've watched the interview.
Well, I only watched about half of it, and then I got him there. But
it's not sad. I only watched half of it.
I've got the other half to look forward to tomorrow, mate. I'm excited for that. But he was basically going through out of financial, he loves talking about it, doesn't he? The financials work on a show, and he takes 20% of the profit. So it's the same for Froch, it's been the same for Joshua, it's the same for what Brooks getting. And he said that I could pay people a purse of like 4 million or whatever, but doing it this way like doubles their money, and it wasn't enough for them. Also, we all know they wanted to choose commentators, they wanted to decide who was on the undercard, and which was paying them. They wanted to, like, I think he said something like they wouldn't have wanted Charlie Edwards on there, which is fair enough. Nobody wants big face. He didn't say a lot. He didn't say they'd left, but he didn't say they were still with him. He kind of left that ambiguous.
The thing I heard was that Eubank Senior is massive on securing a contract, so the fighter has the rights to future broadcasts of the show. And like usually,
yeah, he said.
Yeah, Hearn kept going on about.
He said this. I watched I don't know, you know, like when you just leave it on YouTube and it starts playing random shit after. I was watching something and then it came up with Chris Eubank with Fight Hype or that Radio Raheem fellow. I don't know what channel he does, but he was saying like in his career he got stung by Frank Warren because he doesn't own the rights to any of his fights. So when Box Nation show him on repeat, he doesn't get any money through it. So I don't know if something like that came up, but Sky's obviously not going to let Chris Eubank own the rights to that fight, are they?
I think cause I'm a bit of a communist, so like obviously boxing's a horrible sport for me, but I do think that the fighter deserves the lion's share. Like at the end of the day,
they're getting 80%.
I know, but Eddie Hearn's not doing fuck all. All he's doing is making them sign a contract and then sitting back and getting 20%.
I think the point.
You know what? He just sell the fuck out of it.
I think the point Hearn was saying, Cal, it was that the fighter could either have sort of let's say pluck a figure out thin air, say £500,000. You can either get £500,000 now, or you can get 50 grand a year over the next sort of 20 years for broadcasting rights. And for some reason, Eubank seemed to want the 50, the steady income, whereas Hearn was like, I can't understand why he wouldn't just want £1 million now. And I don't, I think most fighters obviously wouldn't think, oh yeah, I'll just have 20 grand, but I'll have that every year for the next 30 years. Like they'd want the cash right now, right? And it didn't seem like Hearn was sort of denying income. It was more a system of like Hearn pays them up front, and then he can gradually recoup what he's paid them.
Yeah, I do get that, and like fair enough, this is Hearn's way, and that's the way that everyone else accepts it. But I do, on the other hand, get what the Eubank's trying to do, and it would actually, if he could have got it, it would have been good for boxers in the future getting more of the pie, because they are the fucking people we pay to watch. I know some people like the singing in between and DJ Spooner and all that shit, but really, it's the fighting that we care about. The only thing I do get with Eddie Hearn is it's his product. So the Eubank saying they want to do the undercard, they want to do the fucking commentators and stuff. I do get why Eddie's like, well, that's just a no-go, because at the end of the day, it's my product that I'm selling, so I'm the promoter. I'll fucking do my job. But I think maybe he could have budged a bit on the 20%.
If Hearn doesn't get a say in any of it, why is he even helping them? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Like he's got. I'm not. I just want to see the fights. I don't really care about matchroom. But I can understand that Hearn would want to get something out of the deal and have some sort of control.
Oh, I agree. The control should be completely his, because he's his shit that, like, if it bombs, he'll be the one getting
the financial risk entirely.
If the card's terrible, no one will buy his next pay-per-view, which he will be in control of. Do you know what I mean?
Eubanks don't take any of the risk, and therefore they can't expect all the reward. Yeah, I think I can see both arguments. I know what you mean.
Well, I kind of think if it's good enough for Femi, then it should be good enough for them. Hearn said, like, Chris Eubank said like 100 times, like, they're bigger than Joshua, and he said you don't get better numbers on Sky, you don't do better at the box office. Like even the stupid stuff like clicking on news articles on Sky, they're not close. So he went, what planet are you bigger?
But Eubank, I think what Hearn thinks about the Eubanks is that they're not loyal to Sky, and they're not loyal to his brand. They're going to fuck off to whoever is the highest bidder. They might fuck off to Box Nation for a laugh. They might fuck off to Channel 5 or even Dave, like what fucking David Hayes doing. Because they know they want their own brand. They want to keep that. And I think that's why Hearn isn't bowing to them. He doesn't want to give them that power, and he doesn't want to...
He doesn't want to strengthen their brand by praising publicly, right? Exactly, because all that does is give... that. By doing that, Hearn loses power and is literally giving power word by word over to the Eubanks. And obviously, we know Hearn is a very, as relaxed as he tries to appear. He's a very, very controlling person.
Well, when it all came about, I said, because how they were speaking in the interviews, it was always, well, we've done our bit. Well, we've done our bit. And I just think it was Eddie Hearn basically putting him into a corner. And then just because they made him look a cunt, he was just like, well, now it's all on you guys, and now they look like massive cunts. I think he was happy either way. Like he gets one over on the Eubanks, they look like fucking idiots, and he still gets Kell Brook in the fight, and he gets his 20%. So it's worked out absolutely perfectly for Eddie Hearn. think he's doing a little
That's
dance.
one stone, isn't it? It really is. I
He's
think
doing a little dance today.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he gets hit by a bus and.
Yeah, I agree, but I think it's worked out spot on, and Kell Brook gets his cash out that he wants.
There's a couple of interesting points, Cal, about like rights and that. I remember, I think we had this. It might have been in the WhatsApp chat months ago, or maybe it wasn't on a pod. But we were talking about Legendary Nights for HBO and how there are certain fights. They basically haven't made a Legendary Night.
Well, Don King owns some of them, doesn't he? That's why.
Well, yeah. So Jim Lampley's saying it's so frustrating because fans always come up to him whenever they see him at fights and say, "Why haven't you done Hopkins versus Trinidad as a Legendary Night?" And he said, "You don't think we want to? Like we're waiting in the fucking studio every day to record that episode, but Don King owns the rights to it and he won't give them up. And until Don King dies or Don King the company dissolves or whatever it is, and someone else is given the option to buy those rights." Apparently, King was always very, very, very controlling with the TV rights, and as a result, they've never been able to make Legendary Nights about Chavez, Whittaker, or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? All these great fights. They've never done documentaries on them because King doesn't let anyone use the footage.
So, but the promoters don't own the footage for here? Because Sky, Frank Warren fights is on Sky?
Yeah, over here, but I think that would vary according to who the promoter was. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Matchroom are quite as controlling with the rights to the fights as some of the American guys are.
Frank's got his old ITV shows on Box Nation all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect example.
Like the Eubank versus Collins and that, they're always showing that.
I've made my feelings clear before with like boxers and making money and all that. If I don't get any money, I'm not really interested in it. I couldn't care a fuck, right? But I've absolutely no issue with what Eubank is demanding there. It's obviously like an obscure one where a lot of people. But why shouldn't you? Why? See when a song's played on the radio, the fucking artist gets a kickback for it. That's the whole point of it. Why shouldn't the boxers get a kickback for the fights it's getting shown? Why should it just always be like the likes of Sky TV or the promoter that keeps making the money? Like
Brian, but nowadays a recording artist who signs an album deal doesn't get $5 million up front like Eubank would, or $3 million like Eubank would have done to fight.
You don't know. They'll get an advance. They'll get an advance
up front, but then they make the money back gradually through having a percentage on every play on the radio or whatever it is. It's kind of two different models. But imagine if we were talking about WWE the other day, right? And imagine if there was like a WWE network type of website where you pay £20 a month and you got every pay-per-view ever and you could just watch it whenever you want. You get millions of fans around the world would sign up to that and have. I'd happily pay £50 a month. Do you know what I mean? To have every pay-per-view in HD available whenever I wanted it. Every HBO show, every Showtime show, all the matches stuff. That would be amazing. But you couldn't even get every fighter's pay-per-view, one given fighter, because the rights are probably all owned by different people. You know, someone like Ali, Aram probably owns a few of his fights, and then you've got other promoters owning other ones. And yeah, a guy like Chavez is a perfect example. Like his career was sort of split into 3 or 4 sections where each promoter like fucked off with the footage rights for those 25 or 30 fights at a time. And
you've got to understand Eubank's like position, because how many boxers go fucking bust? Like so many, and you've got to think like boxers are notorious for being fucking terrible with money. They can earn 50 million and lose it in 3 years. So it's like.
But equally, Cal. But let's say
that's not Sky's problem, is it? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
No, but they're not saying it's Sky's problem. That's why they wanted to like change the rules.
Would you be as disciplined as a guy like Mayweather or a guy like Pacquiao in terms of sort of wanting to fight the best and pushing yourself if you were only getting $100,000 a year? Like, would these guys even have those sort of careers if they weren't getting millions right there? Like,
I do know what you mean, but I think it's one of them where he's taking a fight where he could realistically get hurt as well, and this could be it. Like, this could be his fucking cash cow for the rest of his life, and like that's worst case scenario, I know, but I do understand why they want it over a longer period of time so they can do other shit. Like I do get the idea, but it's never going to happen with Sky.
There must be a middle ground somewhere, but I don't think anyone's ever found it yet.
I'm with Hearn on this. If it's good enough for Femi, it was good enough for Froch. It should be good enough for them.
Oh, go to Hearn's arse, man. You're fucking over him these days.
No,
Get,
I'm just saying.
get a fucking room.
Why should they get special treatment?
But
They're not asking. They're not asking for special
Yes, they
treatment.
are asking for special treatment.
No, they're not.
Yeah, but they're asking for something no one else gets. That's
yeah, they're
special
asking for
treatment, yeah?
different rules they want, but I don't know if it's special treatment. Like, otherwise, you could just get shat on forever. But if you just use the thing, well, it's good enough for them, so they can keep their 20%. Oh yeah, but they took the 20%, so I'm still keeping the 20%. Do you know what I mean? You can do that forever. That's how fucking Nazis did so well.
But at the end of the day, Cal, like we see it on a much smaller scale every month with people who, you know, do you want your paycheck a week early and I'll take 5% of it? And the amount of fucking idiots who do that every month, do you know what I mean? Like who will, cashing checks and stuff like that. Because people want the rewards now. That's just human nature. And I do think even if you gave them the options, 99% of fighters would be like, just give me a massive fucking purse up front, and do that every fight. And I agree with you. I think in a way Eubank's they're being sort of too clever for their own good, aren't they? Really.
See, when Hearn says he gets 20%, is that his promotional cut?
He gets 20% of the profits and 80% goes to the fighter.
So, well,
that makes sense.
Yeah, but Sky are obviously taking a big chunk as well.
Yeah, that's what Eddie gets 20% of the profit. The fighter gets the other 80% of the profit. Sky take money out before net profit, I suppose.
Yeah,
well,
Sky's cut would be a fixed cost before they declared how much profit had been made. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
See, I've been told that Hearn's some way that Hearn doesn't come across as a promoter with some things, and he's a 50% partnership when it comes to the pay-per-view profit. I mean, I'm reading through some.
He said it was 80-20, Brian, but he may be lying. I don't know.
I mean, I've been told as well that I don't know how.
50-50 sounds very steep. I'm not sure.
He's so fucking greedy as well. If someone was like willing to walk away, like if Femi said, I want 90%. He's not gonna stand up to that, is he? Because he's a greedy cunt. He wants money, no matter how it comes. He just don't think the Eubanks are worth anything more than the 80%.
No, but it's not money at any cost, because I think Hearn's also got such a big ego that he might say like, look, I'll give you 85-15 and that's it. Do you know what I mean? And then he'd almost want to sort of make a point by ditching the guy and saying, all right, if you're so clever, make your own way without Sky, being blacklisted by Matchroom and Sky, and see how you get.
But if Femi's as big as he expects him to be, and he could turn out to be, Hearn will end up taking a lot less than 20% off him.
Just that's what I mean.
To be the face,
of course he will. But yeah, with Joshua, yeah.
I mean, pictures next to AJ after his like 20th fucking win, and.
But 10% of Joshua's pay-per-view is that's probably equivalent to 90% of the guy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Chef.
Crawler's pay-per-view. Yeah.
If 10% was going to be big enough for Hearn to take his cut and smile for the cameras like he usually does, he'd fucking take it. You know he would.
Or he might negotiate like a fixed fee per fight or something.
And also this fight, like Golovkin's a big name to fucking proper boxing fans, but it is a bit of a risk getting like a fucking Kazakhstani over against a guy who's not even a world champion. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a cut and dry. It's going to sell millions.
Oh, I think it will. I don't know if the pay-per-view will do unbelievable numbers, but it will sell the arena out definitely.
Oh no, yeah, but I mean the pay-per-view won't do as much as Martin against Joshua probably.
No, the pay-per-view might do similar. Well, if they stack it, I mean it's looking good so far. I was worried about the undercard, but I mean whatever we think about Pigface, he's in a world title fight, and the opponent is that Casemiro. I've seen him; he's a good fighter. That'll be a fun fight. He's a puncher. That'll be an action. An action.
Also, one more thing that he confirmed that they did want to double the ticket prices. From what they charge for the Femi ones, which is the highest.
See, see everything that you keep saying here. What you're now saying is we are now expected to believe Eddie.
I don't believe him. I'm just saying what he said. I don't believe him. I'm just saying what he said. I'm not saying it like it's fact because it comes from his mouth. You know he's lying when his mouth's moving.
Leon had the he earlier on. He turned around and says, the people on Twitter, all you have done is call Hearn a lying bastard for about 3 years, but now he say he comes out and says stuff about the Eubanks with all of a sudden he fucking believe him. I mean, I personally believe that the Eubanks did like fucking ask for all this mad shit. But at the same time, the guy's a compulsive liar. All he does is fucking lies. He wakes up in the morning and probably tries to convince himself his name's no Eddie Hearn just because he lies so fucking much.
If he was saying it about someone random who hasn't got previous of pissing every promoter off, you'd be more inclined not to believe him. But because the Eubanks have gone from pillar to post and fucked off everyone, you kind of
whose
think
fault's
they must
that?
be mental.
It's Eddie Hearn's fucking fault, man. He's already been with Eddie Hearn before. Like, Eddie Hearn knows what he's getting into, so he can't fucking have it both ways. He knows the situation that he gets into with the Eubanks. He knows he can't control them. Stop fucking trying to milk them then. Stop trying to fucking milk them with their money because of their name. That's exactly what you're doing. You know
he's a greedy cunt.
He is a cunt. We all know that.
Exactly. Like, but where are they going to go? Frank won't take him back, I don't think. Well, then he might do if they can agree to something with the Billy Joe.
No, I thought Warren had said he would never work with him again. No.
Hennessy's not going to work with him. He's got no one to put with him, and he's not a great promoter anyway. Where are they going to go? America, maybe.
If you go, well, you send back a letter from.
Maybe they could move in with They could move in to the Bronx with Seb or something.
Maybe they can move back. Maybe they can move back to the Catskills.
I think someone said that Senior's on about doing the fight by himself with some broadcaster.
Yeah, I heard something like that. That's why you were at in Ant and Dec, because apparently they own a TV channel, and Simon Cowell, fuck knows what he owns, or everything. So that's why you were at in all them people. It weren't just like a mad fucking thing. I think they actually have influence with TV channels, and he was being deadly serious, but he lost it a bit, didn't he? Rocco?
Yes.
What do you think of the whole situation? Have you seen the interview with her?
Yeah, I watched it earlier while I was ironing.
Are you in the bathroom, mate? I can hear an echo.
Rocco, did you watch the full video?
What's that?
Did you watch the full video?
Yeah.
Right, do you want to get a breakdown like some of the stuff? We already heard about like the Eubanks. What else was he saying?
No, but basically it was all about that. It's all about, and he was explaining how it's all worked out and splits and all. It was just all about him really, and everything you already know really. It was nothing like new other than, I mean, I heard what you're saying there about the Eubanks. I mean, look, do you believe him or not? I mean, I don't see why he would lie. I mean, Warren. I mean, he even agreed with Warren that they're a fucking nightmare. That the dad is a nightmare to deal with, which is exactly what Warren used to say. So, you know, they can't both be wrong. It must be something that is happening. So I don't see what he's got to lie about. Do you know what I mean? It's not, you know.
That's one thing why I kind of believe what Hearn's saying. I don't agree with what he's saying, but I believe with what he's saying because Eubanks would have fucking absolutely jumped down his throat if he'd lied in the public forum. 100%, they would have fucking gone for him, and they've been silent for 4 days, except Eubanks saying to Adam Etchers, "Fuck off, you puff." Other than that, Eubanks have been pretty silent. So I do think.
As you said, where can they go from here? They've been to Warren, they fucked him about, they left him. They've been to Hearn twice, they fucked him about. I mean, he wasn't washing his hands of them, but I don't know. On one hand he was, and on the other hand he wasn't. They've been with Fat Mick. You know what I mean? They've been through everyone, haven't they? I mean, who else is there? Fucking hell.
Well, I think they've got one more fight on the contract, so I'd assume it'd be like a rider or something for the British outright, and then he's obviously gonna look for the Billy Joe Saunders rematch. That's the only fight that makes sense now. Like
Jacobs, maybe. I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, but you may if you're gonna take one of them, like Jacobs' fight's gonna be worth nothing. You take the Billy Joe one, wouldn't you? If you could get it.
Yeah, it's whether Warren and Billy Joe would actually be really inclined to make it again unless they had to, or like the offer was too good to turn down. I don't know.
It'd be, that kind of fight though. I would have enjoyed to see like a rematch straight after, but now they've both ducked Golovkin. It's kind of like, why do I want to watch two fighters that don't want to be the best? They're just happy to just keep taking their paydays. Do you know what I mean? It takes the shine off it a lot for me.
Yeah, exactly. I want Golovkin to knock Billy Joe out and take his belt, and then the only way you can get a belt is to fight Golovkin. That's the situation I want to somehow engineer. It would all be so much easier if there was one fucking belt.
They'd all be going after Jacobs WBA regular, wouldn't they? All queuing up.
Because he was saying he wanted Billy Joe, didn't he? But then that talk seems to have completely disappeared now.
And it's interesting how it's completely different from the situation that happened at heavyweight with Vlad, when he had like basically 3 of the belts and his brother had the other one. What happened with the heavyweights was you got yourself up, you built yourself up enough just to get noticed by the Klitschko's, and then you got a Klitschko payday and you got knocked out. But with Golovkin, it seems like everyone's trying to avoid him. Everyone's not trying to fight him. They're doing their best to skirt around him and not do anything about him. And I'm wondering if he does get that Billy Joe belt, will the dynamic suddenly change where everyone's just avoiding each other to get that Golovkin payday, or will they still avoid him?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I think it shows you how good he is. Do you know what I mean? What do we think?
But people consign to the fate of getting knocked out by Vlad. That's the point.
No, but Alex, imagine if Klitschko had never shown a vulnerable chin. Maybe it would have been a similar situation where the guys like fucking Leopard and Pianetta would have been like, actually, we don't really want to fight that guy, like regardless of the.
It's the same with Vitaly as well, though. I mean, people took the same approach to him. I mean, he only had the one belt, but people still wanted to fight him because it was a payday, and he never really showed any vulnerability. He had the
But you've also got the whole fucking pay issue, haven't you? Like some of the paydays for Vlad's opponents are really good, whereas, like, what did Wade and Monroe get? I reckon they got less than $500,000. So it's like it is a different dynamic in that sense as well.
How much do you think the Klitschko opponents got, really? I mean, some of the...
Well, like Alex Leopold would have got his biggest purse by a fucking mile, wouldn't
he would have got a couple of 100,000. That would have been it.
But that's massive to like a Oz heavyweight, and it was New Zealand.
No, but
whoever the fuck it was.
Who was the other champion though when Lepi had that? Like, what would he have got for that?
That was Vitaly.
Oh, no. That was 2014, so the other champion...
Vacant or Stavern.
Yeah.
So it's like Stavern versus Wilder, heavyweight title fight in America for the first fucking time in how many years? Was it like 15 years or something, American fighting for the world title? And they got like $1 million each, $1 million each. So like the money was all in Europe in terms of the heavyweights. I think that's probably why they took it, whereas Golovkin, Billy Joe against Eubank will probably get him as much money as fighting Golovkin would, so... I can see why they duck him. It's just fucking annoying as a fan.
What did Jacobs and Quillen get when they fought each other?
About $1 million each as well.
Yeah,
that's big money as well, isn't
it? The total purses for that. I remember the total purses for that card. They released them. Who was on the undercard for that? Fucking Cuellar, wasn't it? The one who was meant to fight Mares. And that was the total budget for that show was something like 2.4 million or something. But like 2 million was the main event, you know.
Well, with the middleweights, basically, there's money to be made outside fighting for Golovkin, isn't there? When it was Klitschko's dominating heavyweights, there weren't.
I actually tweeted Quillen yesterday saying, "Why don't you might as well fight Golovkin now? You've already lost your belt to a far worse opponent, so nothing to lose." And he said, his reply was, "Why would I have anything to lose? I have no fear," or something like that. So he didn't read my tweet at all, but. Maybe he's finally twigged that, oh yeah, like actually, you know, there is nothing to lose now. I might as well have a go.
Well, he was at the Boxing Voice appreciation night before the Thurman fight, and for the Boxing Voice and that were there, and they basically says that he doesn't think that Quillen will come back fine. Well, he said he didn't exactly say that. He says he doesn't care. If he comes back or no, because they've made that amount of money now. Like Quillen doesn't give a fuck, because Quillen fucking was brought up right rough. I think he was like fucking. He was
homeless, mate. He was homeless before he turned pro.
Homeless. So like, he's got all this money now, and he's just one of the God fearing fuckers, isn't he? So he doesn't think that Quillen. He thinks that maybe Quillen will come back.
Remember when he was younger? Like he was like a hobo. He didn't have any teeth and stuff. Like he was missing half his teeth. And I don't think he ever really enjoyed. His Quillen's backstory is actually really interesting. It's a real shame that he ended up, you know, completely shitting it and not fighting anyone, because he was a guy who turned to boxing because he got involved in a gang, and he was sort of the lookout where the guy who stood on the door and get in and stop the robbery. And they realised that, he said, I realised I had really fast hands and could punch quite hard. And then after that, he ended up sort of somehow in a boxing gym and that. He had a really good story at one point, Willen, and he's, completely irrelevant now without fighting anyone. It's a real shame.
Right, we've done this middleweight to death here. Alex, are you still there?
Yeah.
Right, the announcement today was basically like Charlie Edwards was going to fight that Casimiro. Right, I know that Ainsley was fucking freaking out. He's not saying that he ducked like Selby, which he did duck, right? But I'm not going to go hard on him because he's taking a fucking far harder fight. And I know Ainsley's point of view was we shot on.
He earned the fucking fight. It's ridiculous.
It's not about earning the fight. I don't know, arguably, if Casimiro is a harder fighter than Andrew Selby.
Well, right now, fucking the facts that are that he's a world champion and Selby's barely fucking British level right now. We know we think how well Selby's going to be, but like, is this probably the time Casimiro's got one of the best fucking wins in that division? So, right, he's not earned it. But see, at the same time, you can't shit on him for fucking like we absolutely destroyed him. I get blocked from him for like ducking Selby. We absolutely fucking hounded him, but he's taking a right fucking hard fight, so I'm not going to shit on him. And it's not the same as Paul Smith. What Paul Smith done was he was the British champion, and he was trying to get fucking easy fights to win that belt outright. It wasn't just a basically, I'm just wanting to call it a fucking tune-up fights. No, he was trying to win a belt outright by not fucking fighting empty, and then he took a fight that he was never going to win anyway. I think Edwards a wee fucking helmet, right? And I'm happy with this fight because I just want to see him fucking lose. I don't hate him as much as Paul Smith, where I didn't want him to make a fucking penny, but these are two midgets, right? They're not going to make a lot of money. I don't know much about Casimiro or in his last fight. Alex, you're into these midgets. How good is he?
He's alright. I mean, he's average. I mean, Ruin Wrong was a big favourite to beat him, and rightfully so. But in the end, he just fucking iced him. It was, two.
I was better punches.
Alex, I missed the first fight between Casimiro and Ruin Wrong. Was it close? I know Ruin Wrong got the decision.
I didn't watch it all because it was just a typical sort of Ruin Wrong fight. He fucking spoiled a lot, and it was really boring. It just really turned me off, and I think that's what caused the rematch, because it was such a close fight, because he just did out for a lot of it, and that's why they had the rematch. Casimiro, he's obviously, this is the thing you need to say as well, he's the weakest champion in that division. I mean, who else has got the belts? Gonzalez and Estrada. And Estrada's got 2 of the belts, and obviously Casimiro's got the IBF belt now, and this is the probably cost about £5, basically.
Would you have said the exact same thing if Ruin Wrong was still the champion? He's the weakest one, because everybody fucking is this opinion here that Ruin Wrong would be an absolute nightmare for the fucking other 2 belt holders.
I think that he still would be, because I think that Gonzalez and Estrada would both be Ruin Wrong. I think that's more proven now since Casimiro fucking iced him.
I've not seen nothing for Charlie Edwards to say that he can actually have any sort of fucking legitimate way of winning this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Edwards.
Imagine how bad a champion Edwards will be in that division. Like, how he will be like Saunders on steroids, won't he? In terms of avoiding any significant challenge. It's going to be if he wins, it will fight Gonzalez. No,
he will never fight Estrada.
He will fight guys ranked 14 and 15 in his own little sanctioning body. And Hearn will say he's still learning, despite the fact that he's got a world title, and it will just be that double standard, have your cake and eat it bullshit. Yeah. So we have to pray Casimiro ices him. But that's a good point you mentioned earlier, Alex. Who would you favour Casimiro against Selby?
Cheers for that, Alex. That was fucking really good insight, and I love the way you kind of broke down the styles.
Hello, is Chocolate Tits in the same division as this Charlie Edwards?
Yeah, we just said that.
So there was rumours of Chocolate Tits being on this Brook Golovkin card himself, wasn't he? So perhaps he's gonna put him on there and then have old Kane Larkin win the belt. To set up a mega fight, stick insects war down the line with.
Well, tell you what, if he gets Gonzalez over to London, then
No, actually,
I will
Gonzalez.
not
I did
print
read
my
somewhere
shirt.
Gonzalez is meant to be fighting that day, but I reckon he's going to be in the Forum there in America. So it'd be.
Kudras, is it?
But yeah, that's basically confirmed, isn't it? The Kudras fight. So he's moving
So-
up in weight. So maybe Charlie Edwards might end up getting the WBC shot.
I'll tell you what, 7 years ago today, that Arturo guy fucking took a major L against his wife. I mentioned this last week because like Floyd Mayweather, didn't he? Floyd battered his bird and went to jail. And like Gatti, didn't he? Gatti fucking just basically let his bird tie a noose around his neck and fucking hang him. What a pussy that he is. Nah, that shows you how shit a fighter he was. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing Mayweather versus Gatti's wife then, because like she done a better job on Gatti than Mayweather did. Boom! And I wonder if Gatti was nonce when he was a boy. Anyway.
I mean,
So,
I want to give credit to Edwards because I mean, fair enough for actually taking a fight and a difficult fight. More fighters should be, if they've got the amateur pedigree and the arrogance, and he's talking a big game and he said, I did this amateur, and he's coming in and
Where did he really do it, amateur?
Did he win Commonwealth or something?
Any old fucking bum wins that.
As well.
Any old bum wins them fucking amateurs. I think Wales got about 5. Scotland got fucking some.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, it's basically British games. Like they win the medals at every single weight class.
Well, Commonwealth excludes the best countries in the world, which is like Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Cuba.
Yeah.
So, it's not going to include those guys. But, apparently he does have amateur pedigree, and he was fast-tracked, or supposedly. He was apparently not ready for British level, but now he's ready for world level. But fair enough.
But he lost to Prince Patel in the amateurs, didn't he?
I think
I thought he beat him. No?
He beat him 6 times and lost once, I think.
Yeah, but he still lost to him.
4-1.
He still lost once.
Losing once to him is pretty fucking awful.
If you're still losing once to someone like that, then I jump into world level. After 7 fights, his best wins someone called Wilton. Then I can't imagine him winning.
If he wins, Prince Patel would be his first offence when it on pay-per-view.
If he wins, fair play to him. I like people that do this. It's fucking...
Casimiro arguably, you look at flyweight, and there's some fucking excellent fighters there. And should have a belt more importantly. I mean, obviously beating Ruin gives him that advantage of being top 5, but there's other fighters like Ioka and fucking Reveco and Hernandez and shit like that. They could fucking absolutely destroy him. There's so many guys that are coming through in like upper and below the weight. I mean, people constantly switch between the weights that could fucking ice him. It's ridiculous division.
So, I don't know what to say. Sorry. But what's Hearn's more then? Because like Edwards is like one of his wee fucking Essex boys. You know how he loves the wee fucking fannies for Essex, and he just loves them on like every London card and that. And I see like Ben is like on the Crawler card and the Golovkin card. Fucking hell, they're just not letting that boy develop away from everyone in there. They're just sticking him on everyone. But what's his logic in this? Have they seen something in Casemiro that nobody else sees here? Are they this confident that fucking Edwards is that good? Because I watched one of his fights and it doesn't look that good. It just looks a typical bog standard skinny bastard Brit.
Was it Louis Norman or something he fought for the British on Sky?
He hasn't fought for the British.
Huh?
He hasn't fought for the British. He's got the English.
The English then, the English.
Yeah. He put him on because it's a cheap as fuck fight, and he can say it's a world title fight, which it is. So he'll say pay-per-view, and it'll be 3 world title fights, and the world title fights will have cost him.
How was the second one? What's the second world title fight?
Brook
against Golovkin.
But that's one you said, 3 world title fight.
Yeah, but they'll put another one on. They'll find someone to put on.
Maybe Stelby or something.
Yeah, they'll definitely fill it out with one more.
About time Martin Murray got another shot in my.
maybe like De Gale. De
Gale definitely not be over on an undercard. They fucking kell Brook.
I reckon it'll be Selby again.
When are these tickets going to be on sale?
He's going to announce it this week, isn't he? When they do a press conference.
So they won't be this week then. They'll be next Monday maybe.
Hopefully, I get paid by then.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Jamie
Well,
Wednesday for the fight pass. I think he said Friday they might go on sale. Tickets.
Did you book that flight in the end?
Sorry?
Did you book that flight in the end?
No, I'm just waiting to see tickets. It makes no difference anyway. The flights are as cheap as fuck anyway. And I'm off that weekend. Even if the worst comes to the worst, if I was desperate enough, I would just drive down. It makes no difference to me. See, because I'd be on that holiday mode, the IB fan, I'd be like, woo, road trip.
You don't have to put two on the plane anymore either.
I don't think it'll be as expensive or as like quickly sold out as
I don't think it'll be sold out. Like, as much as like, the casuals are getting the imagination taken away with them because of Golovkin, it's still Kell Brook.
Yeah, you can't sell up here, so I can't see that many Sheffield people. I reckon it'll be more people there to watch Golovkin than support Kell Brook.
I'm just putting out there. If there's any tidy birds listening to this that are vulnerable or low self-esteem, they stay in the London area and they're looking for somebody that will absolutely muff the bride right after them for lodgings, then shoot me up on Twitter. I'm not staying with Shep because he stays. He fucking like he'll probably make me stay in one of the wee fucking cardboard bed things that the Chinese fucking live in, where there's just a wee. You've got one of the covers that you get when you're in the jail.
In Shady from London.
Big fucking thanks to Shady. No, I'd love to fucking stay with Shady. Just fucking climb in there and fucking devour that minge.
More news.
Just to clear that up, if you're looking for a Scottish guy to come and stay at your house who uses the word lodgings, then mine's all yours.
Friend of the pod, Dave Allen's fighting Dillian White, and he announced that on Saturday.
Aye. I hope he's getting all the boys' fucking tickets.
When are we getting him on the fucking show?
He doesn't even know.
Ask him right now. Ask him right now to come on here.
Is he on?
Is he listening?
Well, I don't know. He's
tweeting. He's on fucking Twitter 9 hours a day.
Aye, but it's not him. It's tweeting.
Tell him I called him a cunt and get him on.
He's basically doing is he's on the phone to somebody and they're tweeting for him because he doesn't know how to use a fucking mobile, the dumb bastard.
Tell him we don't believe he knows how to use a mobile. Someone tell him.
Big fucking Porky's always talking to Dave Allen. Porky, I know you watch this. Tell Dave Allen to come on this fucking podcast.
One of our 111 listeners, or however many it is, 102 now. Please.
I want to hear to listen to me and two to listen to Alex. Right, we'll jump onto the fucking card on Saturday.
Oh, Dab's been fucking asking us to talk about this for over an hour.
I know, Bob, Dab, you're going to be fucking excited, my son, because we're on to fucking talk about your boys. Vijay Singh is fighting Kerry Hope in fucking New Delhi, India, super middleweight bout. And the reason I brought this up is because have any of you get the Bogveg schedule up? None of these? Because I was wanting these to fucking try and like, have a bang at pronouncing these names. Right? Siddhara Ravingda Varma fights Dilbag Singh. Dilbag. Haha, Bobag. Vajang Kamongon.
Surely this is a good game for Rocco to change their names.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time.
Hold on, let me get it out.
You do, Alex. You can pronounce it better since you're more educated than me.
Because by the sound of these, like, it's not going to sell with the names that they are at the minute. They're not catchy enough.
But I'm saying, it's what I've always said.
Tell you what, people on the chat, by the way, let's see if this beard's making me look a bit far. I'll need to get shaved so you can see my fucking new slimline look.
Right, Rocco, we've got Nat Danai Peng Fong against Sunil Siwach. Can you rename that fight for us, please? Nat Danai. It's Nat Danai Peng Fong versus Sunil Siwach.
Nat Danai Peng Fong. Right.
It's like he's feeding it into a little machine or something.
Well, see what you know. Imagine we're all brainstorming with pizzas and cocaine and trying to come up with a slogan. Like it's got to be something. So I don't know. I mean, does he advertise? Could he be like Necky Poundland? or it's something a bit catchy like Nacky Potshot. So it could be Nacky Potshot.
Yeah, and he's a sharp shooting southpaw or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What about Sunil Siwach?
Sunil. So would he be like Sunny? Like, you know, is that his sect or whatever?
Sect.
Sunny. So it'd be like Sunny slit throat or something like that. I don't know.
Fuck's sake. That's what I would like to be Spencer X.
So was it sharpshooter against Sunny
Mind you, you
Slipthroat?
typed in Sunny slit throat into Google, you might get some poor American getting beheaded, mightn't you?
We'll be off one of them fucking Uber drivers in fucking London, right?
Siddharth Ravindra Varma.
I mean, these names, I know they're their names, but fuck's sake, do you know what I mean? Like, if they want to appeal to, like, the broader sort of, like, wealth, they've got to do something about these names. I
All
seen
right,
one the other day.
is a more easy one. Is an easier one. Sanjeev Sahato versus Vikas Kumar. That's Sanjeev Sahota versus Vikas Kumar.
Well, Kumar has got to be Kumar number 42.
No.
And the first one, what was it again?
Sanjeev Sahota.
Oh, God.
Soweto or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. Perhaps Sofitel, the hotel brand, could use him, but I don't know. I mean, they're just unpronounceable names. You can't even pronounce their fucking names, can you? How are they going to stand out? Do you know what I mean?
How do you feel about the main man, Vijender Singh? How do you feel about him, the main man? He's in the main event against Kerry Hope. His name alright, Vijender Singh?
Yeah, that's the sort of normal,
What about Kerry Hope?
Yeah, well, it's just
What was your favourite one of all time? Was it like Wallet 3K Battery?
Yeah, I liked old Wallet 3K Battery.
What about
that
CP
was,
Freshmart? Do you like him as well?
Who's that, mate?
CP Freshmart.
Yeah. Them two, they're the best. They're the best.
Rocco, you know how like 50 years ago, all the Asian fighters would they'd all get Western. They'd all be called like battling Harada or fighting Tamagotchi or whatever it was, and that was much easier, wasn't it? Because they'd like westernized themselves in order to go over and fight in America and for people to remember them. Because I do know what you mean. Some of the names are incredibly hard to remember. Like, who's that lad who Hay fought? With the Cobra or whatever his name is. Like, how are you
Arnold
Gurjaj.
Yeah. You can't remember that. You need to Americanize it.
Maybe you want to be called fucking Barry Fagdout or something like that?
A name like Ricky Burns, you'll never forget that name.
No. You can't fucking forget a freeweight world champion. That's so.
Ricky Burns.
Rick Sturko, don't they? They don't know he's called Ricky Burns. Who's this Rick Sturko?
Rick Sturko.
I said, why is Anthony Agogo and Charlie Edwards fighting fucking in Germany?
When?
The Sauerland.
Rocco
is Sauerland, isn't it?
Terry's enraged by the foreign names he's left.
Well, go Sauerland, and I guess, I don't know, they're just...
Is it Go Sauerland?
Yeah, he's part Sauerland, part Golden Boy. No, he's 50-50.
Oh, right.
I thought Golden Boy sacked him off.
I thought he signed 50-50 with both.
So he signed with Oscar Sauerland's and 50-50 now?
No, originally he was just Golden Boy. Then, because he was injured so much, I thought they sacked him off, and he was just...
What's this bummy belt that's the headliner? Tyrone...
Zouge?
That's,
He's a super middling, he's Zouge.
But it's for the WBA? What the fuck?
Interim one, isn't it? Or regular?
No, it says WBA World Super, so it's the regular. Why do they get a regular when somebody's going to be fighting for the Super? Fucking scumbags, man.
Okay, just back to the fight, Singh against Hope. This is a fucking big step up.
Aye. But I don't know if Kerry Hope's been fighting, because I know Kerry Hope moved to Australia, but I'm pretty sure he retired, did he not?
But he used to be decent, didn't he? he's not bad. He's 10-1 to win.
He's solid enough.
Can't be fucking 10-1 against this bum.
I think that's worth a bet. I think that could be one of Cal's bet specials.
And I might put him in the prediction league, so you know.
I think he's definitely got a shot. Obviously, if it's a close fight, Singh will get it, with it being in.
You're learning how to do the double prediction, mate. Well played. You just win.
And also, the slippy canvas, you might get knocked out. But...
Also, a draw is very possible. So...
I'm definitely interested in that. For 10-1, it's worth a tenner. Another one, just for people who care. Whale against Gamaliefi, who hasn't beaten anyone. He's fucking 10-1 too.
Well, yeah, Whale's massive outsider, isn't he? That's quite.
Gamaliefi's 1-33, and Josh Whale beat Gavin McDonald like 2 years ago. I know he only got the draw, but he definitely beat him.
When's this fight on?
Value bet, yeah.
That's the Leeds card, I think.
But even Hearn said recently he couldn't believe how long the odds were on Whale to win.
Yeah. It's just a couple of 10-1 shots to double that up, put a tenner on. And then you've won a grand.
Card looks good. I love how we're skirting around the Box Nation card still.
Because Dab wants us to talk about it.
We're talking about matchroom cards instead because we love Eddie Hearn.
Right, so we're going to the fucking Box Nation card.
Right, that's the end of the show, lads. See you later.
Dale Evans is fighting Ryan Hardy. That sounds like a wrestler. Jay Harris, never even heard of him. I'm not even talking about him. Jamie Conley's fighting Patrick Bartos. I've not heard of Bartos. He's got a record of 7-9. Jamie will probably go down with a body punch, then knock him out.
Yeah.
I thought Gary Buckland
be fight of the year. Let's be honest. That will probably be fight of the year.
I thought Gary Buckland had retired.
Yeah, he did. Does he come back?
He's back. He's fighting Matty Fagan.
That's bad. He's so shot.
Alex Hughes is fighting. I don't even know who he is, but he's fighting Alistair Warren, who's 9-12-4, mint it. Craig Evans is fighting Josh Ellison, who's 5-6, amazing. Joe Pigford, don't even know who that is.
He's always on early doors on the cards. He's quite average, but he obviously sells a couple of tickets.
He's 10-0, and he's fighting Sam Omidi, who is 4-2-1, amazing. Frank Warren, are just fucking stacking these motherfuckers up. Bradley Skeet, who I'm quite high on, I quite like Bradley Skeet. He's fighting, oh fuck's sake, Alexander Lepely.
That's for the fake European belt as well, isn't it?
That's what I'm going to say. I refuse to acknowledge that belt. It's a fucking snide belt.
This cunt, right? Guess who he got knocked out by? The guy who Ricky Burns beat for his world belt.
You're fucking joking.
Lepely got knocked out cold.
Got knocked out by that guy.
By Michel De Rocco.
The thing is, what Frank's fucking had a mare here again. Ski got some fucking people have watched him because he were on Sky, like absolutely school Eggington that they were all quite high on, and then he's back into fucking bum fights. It's pathetic. He actually had a bit of like he could have gone somewhere after that way.
Oh wait, Lepely's actually lost to Burns as well. Lost to him on points.
Oh, points, Brian, points. I bet Ski will knock him out.
Ricky gives his fans fucking rounds because they want a good night out.
This is when Lepely was like 17-1-1.
There you go.
Ricky knocked him down in the first round. I can't even remember this fight.
Then carried him with a vicious beating, yeah?
Yeah.
Ricky basically took the goal. After that Leopold went home and get nodged.
I know exactly what you mean because I thought Skeet they could possibly give. He had a bit of momentum after that Eggington win, and had performed really well. I thought, and he's ranked by a couple of the bodies, in the back end of the top 15, and it would have been a perfect time to have a sort of meaningful eliminator.
Skeet's being punished.
Yeah,
for that Photoshop he did.
Now Skeet, like Eggington, the loser, he's fighting Frankie Gavin. Why ain't Skeet fucking screaming for the Frankie Gavin rematch? Like,
no one wants to see that.
He sent him over to think. Yeah, no one wants to see it, but fucking, he's got to go somewhere. Just going back to this level, I'd refuse to
for
fight.
The proper European belt is what he should be doing, not the fucking WBO bollocks for against
transfer
to Rocco.
Just to confirm, Press Pass's transfer has just been confirmed.
Is he coming on?
No, he's,
Where's he gone? Has he gone to the coalition? Because he's sure as hell not fucking stepped foot on here.
He said he's only just got in from work, but he'll be on next week. On the next week pod, he said he's done with the asylum. There you go.
Where's he said that?
He's just tweeted me, mate, and sent a picture of Chloe's funny. Yeah. He said, "Here you go, mate. Please don't beat me up anymore." And I said, "Yeah, no worries." Press pass is in. That is the breaking news. And then we'll have to try and get Charles on as a regular guest.
I tell you what, Press Pass, it would give me great pleasure if the IRA fucking had an uprising and killed your mom.
That's your welcome party, Press Pass.
IRA. I like my boxers, right? But I tell you what, I would not fucking want to see Bradley Skeet v Frankie Gavin again. Not 1 fucking second. That fight's something balls.
Who do you reckon? Who could we match? Let's play Skeet's manager for a minute. Who could we match him with in the top 15 of the division, where he'd have a chance to actually impress? Like
Thunder.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Ain't Broner thinking about fighting Bunder?
No, Bunder's fighting Spence.
Oh, Spence. I knew it was one of them hype jobs.
No.
Is Broner not priced to sell at the Pacquiao fight?
Broner's going to fight either Pacquiao or I think Porter wants the Broner fight again for some reason. He was calling him out. Don't know.
I seen the other day that Danny Garcia was mentioned he's not going to fight Berto anymore. It's going to be Broner. I'd be fucking happy with that fight.
At 147 though, wouldn't it be? I thought Broner was going down. That was the whole point.
But he couldn't, because he kept on the weight because he knew that Ricky Burns was going to fucking do him.
Yeah,
why can't
he had to get out.
Why can't Bradley Skeet go like obviously the IBF's the weakest at 147 and fight like the Bizier or Jojo Dan, someone like that. Get himself.
What about Skeet?
It's Warren Boxing Organisation, WBO. He's got to go that route.
Yeah, but he's ranked by the WBC though, isn't he?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's going to go there.
I don't know. There's loads of fucking fight. That division fucking pisses me off because there's so many people just sat there waiting to fight.
I wouldn't advise him to go the IBF route because as much as we shit on Kell Brook, he's decent, right? And the guy that's going to end up having the belt's going to be Spence, right? So you're talking about fucking two of the best cunts in that division. But even saying that,
he's not going to win the title, is he? It's just about getting a fucking shot.
Do you think Skeet could be Vargas?
No.
I don't rate Vargas at all.
Exactly. I don't rate Vargas. I reckon Skeet could do him.
I think there's a few Skeet could be in the top 10. Genuinely, I'm not saying he's a top 5 fighter or anything, but I think there are some guys. I'd back Skeet to beat someone like Guerrero at this stage. Honestly, I think Skeet could even give a guy like Berto a good fight.
But Jeff, what about Jeff Horn? Is he in the top 10 yet?
The Hornet?
Yeah.
He survived a fucking Randall Bailey fucking
rocket match. Versus Bailey, mate. Oh, that's an absolute dream fight. Oh,
just think like 2 years ago the list of fucking welterweights back then. Even if you've kind of not including the Floyd and Manny, but the amount of fuckers we've lost there, we lost like some Medana and all. That fucking it's still a stacked division, but it's lost a bit of its fucking glamour.
Shep, what top 10 are you looking at that you think Skeet could beat?
I think it's there was someone in the WBC. I think it was. When I say top 10, I'm talking about sort of the 10 sort of notable people in the division. Obviously, Guerrero wouldn't be top 10 now based on current rankings. But
you talk about fucking Box Nation and Frank Warren as if you actually know. You're just a wee fucking faggot with about 500 fucking accounts on Twitter. You are literally a fucking pleb. And you're turning around saying Skeet's going to do this and fucking there's their target. You know jack shit about any fucking target. The only target you fucking look for is to wake up each day and hopefully you're no fucking DJ wee loser. You shut your fucking mouth.
Copy.
You fucking spastic.
I'm going to make a call right now.
Go on.
He would beat Omar Figueroa. There you go.
Ricky Bob's beat Omar Figueroa.
Figueroa's ranked 7 by the WBC.
Yeah, but Skeet's not in the WBC from what I can see.
Yeah, he's dropped off.
He's in the IBF. He's ranked at 7 in the IBF.
Yeah, Skeet was genuinely in the WBC a couple of months
ago. He's 6 with the WBO.
Dropped off. All right, Skeet would be.
What are you looking at, IBF or WBO?
Let's look at WBO. Let's go.
We're fucking dragging this shit out. Hurry up.
Jeff Horn, he might be able to beat.
Yeah, I think he'd beat Figueroa. I think he would. That Kavalauskas guy, he's good. He'd smash Skeet.
Who the fuck is Tara Shellistuk?
Go fucking Skeet.
Vallejos, I don't know. Veron, I don't know. There's a couple I don't know. Funekas, he's quite old now. I don't know. Maybe Skeet could have a chance. Let's be honest, he's not going to beat Pacquiao, Bradley, or Spence, is he? The top three. So yeah, maybe my I was getting a bit ahead of myself.
I thought you might have been. That's why I asked you.
Right, so let's move on. Tommy Langford's fighting fucking Robbie Gabriel. I never even heard him. Right. Well, we'll just brush by this. Terry Flanagan for Monzonke Fana.
Shit, absolute one of the worst world title fights.
So bad. I can't believe they put it on. Like, why didn't they just scrap it? You know, admit you were wrong and scrap it. You know, they had the perfect chance, but yeah.
What do you reckon he'll be as bad as the one that Smith beat, that Radzicevic? Worse than that. Fuck me. That was the worst I've seen.
No, he's the same level as that guy, but he's 10 years older. Like, seriously, isn't he like 45?
Yeah, he was like a world champion like 20 years ago, it feels like. I mean, it's fucking embarrassing.
I don't get what Dab's on about. We know fuck all. What's there to know? They're all fighting fucking melons so far. Gone up the fucking card. Your fucking card.
Of all the fights we've listed so far, Dab, which ones are good?
Yeah. What are we missing about Fana's career that you think the listeners should know?
Dab, I'd love to fucking stick this biro right in your eyeball and
ask him on.
He won't come on. He won't come on.
If he wants a link, let him come on and he can talk about these fights that we don't know what we're talking about, and he does.
Dab, I'm going to absolutely fucking skull fuck your maw.
Tom got fired for saying something very similar to that, Brian.
But skull fuck's just putting heat in them. There's no fucking doing anything else. It's just a Glasgow kiss. Right. I've got to pure pump your maw. Anyway, this is an absolute fucking stinker of a fight. Fana ducked fucking Ricky Burns a few years ago. Terry Flanagan's a big fuck off lightweight. He'll absolutely walk through him. And see what I said earlier on. See if this does not sell out, then Frank Warner's fucking finished because he's got local guy on it. He's got Guillermo Rigondeaux. He's got Terry Flanagan, right? Tommy Langford, Brad Skeet. There's a few names on here. See if that doesn't sell out, then fuck me, you're fucking done. Right? We'll go into the main event because I want to leave fucking Rigo to last. Liam Williams v Gary Cochran. Right, this is what Eddie Herr will say, a fucking trade fight, a proper trade fight for the hardcore fans. This is a right fucking good fight. I can't even remember when I've seen Gary Cochran, to be fucking perfectly honest. I know I've watched him a few times, but I'm just going to look through his resume. Liam Williams, I actually think Liam Williams would have been a good fight for Liam Smith.
Yeah, no, William Smith is a really good. I actually think Liam Williams would be a good fight against Canelo. Again, not saying he'd win, but I think that would actually be a really good action fight.
You think he would do better than Liam Smith?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Your Tom Jameson's playing up right now.
No, I don't think either. I don't think either of them would Canelo. Obviously, I think they both would get knocked out by him. But no, I think Williams is good, and I think he's got quite a high ceiling. I think he'll fight for world titles, whether he wins them or not. I think he'll get to that level eventually. And I think he'd beat Liam Smith, to be honest, if they fought now. But Cochran, I mean, I think Williams should knock him out in the.
Well, I'm definitely picking up
mid to late rounds. I'd go Williams KO, but I think it'll be a good fight. It'll be lots of good exchanges.
I mean, these are the sort of fights I like. It's for the Commonwealth and the British. I like people going that belt and fuck your fucking WBO European. See, after this, they should go for the proper European belt. And then you hold day 3 belts, you get seriously ranked in divisions, and it gives you a bit of experience. What you do is you fight like a fringe contender. You don't do it like I'm buying a fucking European and then I'm entitled to a world title fight. Fight a fringe to fit. But do what Han done. I know Han had way too many fights in fucking Warren Milton, but see Han, they're just fucking building the opponents up, They got to cost us you at the right fucking time. Nobody's asking you to go fucking body. I know we asked Femi to do more, but they're talking about as if this guy's fucking the Matrix, right? And we want to see Femi lose just for the total banter. But I like this, like a fucking nice wee fucking like, British title fight. I hope people kind of tune in there. I will say that there will, but I'll probably be the only person that actually pays for Box Nation. Dab's probably get Box Nation tattooed on his fucking helmet, right enough. So
I paid for Box Nation. I'll be watching it. I'm looking forward to the top 2 fights on the card. I'm looking forward to.
What, Gary Sweeney versus Marie Gabor?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the floating fight at the end of it.
A 1-0 against a 0-5. Alex, who are you picking?
For what?
This fight that we were just talking about for the last 5 minutes.
Williams.
Williams. I'm going Williams. I just think that. I mean, there's not much more to say about it.
Is this going to be on the Fight Predictor?
Yes.
Oh, right. So
Dab saying that Williams has sold 2,000 tickets. I mean, we can take Dab's word to like Tom's. We won't believe it.
No, Dab's word is gospel because he's fucking Frank Warren.
Dab's probably fucking get like Larry fucking Frank Warren's balls in his.
I reckon I reckon he is Frank Warren or.
Imagine if it was actually Frank.
I'm not even joking. I reckon it is.
No, what's the Mongoloid son called?
Francis.
Yeah, he's Francis Warren.
He's blocked me.
Francis is he's the one who actually runs the.
He's cooked off his nut all the time.
He's the one who actually runs the business.
Who's the other son then? Who's the other son?
Is it George or something like that?
George is alright, man. The other one looks like the fat coated kid.
Yeah, that's Francis Warren.
Who's the one who did Fight Strike and it all went to shit? Do you remember that?
No, Fight Strike was Sam's pod.
I'm sorry, I'm gay.
Did you watch the last big, I say big, it weren't that big, but Box Nation card when Francis Warren were on the outside of the ring and you were basically just fucking all over this blonde bird.
That's right.
They were there on the front row and they were just getting right stuck into each other. And I think it's the one between.
She looked like a fucking prostitute as if like hold you and me.
She looks about 40 odd.
Was that the Enzo card when he got?
I think so. No, it wasn't Enzo. It was one before that. But someone obviously was sent him a tweet, and like mid-round, he basically stopped talking to her after that for the fight.
She looked as if she took off the arse. She definitely goes nasty.
Dad's gone quiet now.
Maybe you can stay at hers in London, Brian, when you come down.
Because we've caught him out. We fucking caught him out.
I mean, basically, Dab's like, they're slagging my maw.
What, his mum's Francis Warren?
Yeah.
So I take it like fucking. I'm picking Liam Williams anyway. I don't do this. Like, I'm not picking that because we're in competition. Because Shep's fucking won the league anyway.
Well, I've learned from Shep, and I'm picking Liam Williams and Gary Cochran.
It's all about the method. Yeah. Corcoran can't punch particularly well. I think Williams can punch hard, and they will exchange. And I think Williams will stop him.
7 or 8 stoppage.
Yeah.
But Gary Cochran could win by points. Is that what you're saying?
It could be a chance. Williams could get knocked out or lose on the count. Yeah.
It could also be a no contest if one of them gets a cut in the first round.
I'm saying you guys might get surprised by this, but it doesn't surprise me if either man won, right?
Do you think Rigo is going to turn up to fight, or do you think he's going to run around?
I've not even went on in that fight yet. Just you fucking hold your horses.
Sorry, boss.
I've got a line for that one.
Do you think that Liam Williams and Gary Cochran's a good fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, for this level, I think it's a very good fight. Yeah, for British.
Do you feel that Terry Flanagan v Fana is a good fight?
No.
Do you know that Box Rec has got both of them at 3 stars?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's a bit strange, that one.
Sorry, on you go.
If it's a world title fight, does it automatically get 3 stars though with them?
No, I think the star rating cow is based on like the sanctioning body rankings of each guy and stuff, and obviously Fana somehow.
Yeah,
Rigo and Dickens is a 2-star.
Yeah, which is probably right, to be fair.
Which is a bigger mismatch. Flanagan, Fana.
At least Dickens is like in his physical prime. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you were saying Dickens could ice Rigo.
No, but Fana might get hurt, like properly hurt.
I don't think Fana has any chance to win.
No.
I think Dickens has like a 1% chance to win.
Well, Dickens is just going to get schooled for a bit, and then that'll be
Spencer
that.
Fairness picked Fana as a late stoppage.
Right, guys.
I wonder why.
I've got. Let's do some overs.
Someone go ask him right now what he thinks about the Flanagan-Farner fight and see what he says.
Alex, here's a question. This is kind of a no-win for Flanagan, really, isn't it? Especially coming off a couple of good wins in the division. What is the bare minimum he needs to do to keep his sort of reputation? Do you think he needs to stop him, like sort of
Get him in 3 rounds?
He's got
Three
3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Take 3 rounds, okay. All right.
Especially when you compare, he's constantly being compared to Crawler, and you see what Crawler's doing. He fucking iced, I've already forgotten his name now.
Barroso,
and he's fighting fucking Linares next. He has
from what my source is telling me, Terry Flanagan's got a good fight coming up on that Fury, the rearrange Fury card.
Oh, yes.
Be careful with your source, mate, otherwise they won't talk to you anymore.
I've just got to say, though, 42 is fucking old anyway. At them lower weights, 42 is fucking ancient. Like, he's got to be a 3-round 50, job.
So.
He hasn't been hit though, has he? Like, this Fanner guy's fucking been beaten up.
We need to think about it. Like, if you look at the average fighter, sort of anywhere below about 120, they peak when they're like 27 or 20.
They age in dog years, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Like they've passed their best by the time they're sort of 29. And this guy is 45.
When they've done their GCSEs, they're shot pretty much.
Yeah.
With Tony Simples.
I've got many GCEs.
Right. So listen. So anything above sort of 3 or 4 rounds is bad for Flanagan. Do we think Liam Williams going the distance is bad for him?
No.
No? Okay.
Nah.
But Cochrane's unbeaten, isn't he?
So if Williams gets a win by any means, that's good, basically.
Well, not by any means. If he labours to it, then.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me if he laboured to it, though.
But it wouldn't surprise you if he knocked him out at the same time, would it?
No, that wouldn't surprise me
either. We won't.
Says blame Hearn for the Fanner fight. Cheers.
No, we won't. It's like basically fucking like trying to blame Canelo for the fucking Golovkin-Brook fight. It's not the way it fucking works. You don't accept a fight if you don't want it. Shut your fucking mouth, tit. Guillermo Rickendall versus James Dickens. See this? Like, it's hard for me to kind of be fucking impartial here. You know how I kind of shat on the Brook Golovkin fight. But the only thing that I can say here is these two people in the same division. I think Guillermo Rigendall's on the slide. I'm not saying that Dickens wins, but I think Dickens is tailor-made for Rigo to actually look good. He's just going to come straight forward. And if Rigo wants to put on a bit of a show, then this is his perfect guy to do it. But you know, the more I think about it now, and the fact that I've seen like pictures of like Rigo at the airport and stuff like that, I'm fucking beginning to get really sick here that I've not went to this because, man, I fucking like Rigo, and I've tried to defend him a load of times when he's had shite fights, and I've tried to blame absolutely every cunt other than Rigo for it. But
I thought you give up on him when he was on that Cotto undercard when he just did fuck all again.
Aye, but I'm the sort of guy that I'm like the battered husband. The battered wife just keep getting back just to suck a bat of boat and get a black eye.
That fight.
I did defend him. I did. I took some amount of abuse for trying to defend that fight, but
I love Rigo, and I couldn't defend that at all. It's disgusting. I mean, Charles was on it, and he fucking bums Rigo.
Charles was
hated that fight.
raging about that, wasn't he? He was like, why? He couldn't explain it at all how bad he was.
I think Charles.
What's his name? Fucking the guy that actually went to Cuba with him. It's been on the side.
Bryn,
he was fucking raging. He couldn't understand why he was doing that.
Let's do the line for Rigo Dickens then. If we say, because I actually think this could look almost as bad as the Willie Casey fight. Do you remember when Casey was just bundling in and getting hit clean with everything? I think if Rigo takes more than 4 or 5 rounds,
this isn't going to be a mixture league, so don't worry.
Yeah, press pass.
Didn't Kid Galahad stop him?
That was a really good fight, though. He was winning that fight until he got hit with a fucking punch.
It was late on when it was like near the end. But
he tired, but it was a good fucking finish to Kid Galahad.
Kid Galahad doesn't have any power, though.
And Kid Galahad's on the juice.
He's not a terrible fighter, Dickens, but, you know, it's about levels. Yeah. Like, he's not an elite...
he's not Rigo.
I think Rigo could land at a 50% clip and get him out there in 4 if he wanted to.
I think I hope it will look like the Tion Kennedy fight, yeah, where he was just landing 50% of his punches and was knocking him down for
Depends
fun.
what Dickens does, doesn't it? I mean, he could shell up like that last cunt did and do absolutely nothing, and Rigo won't engage him. You know he won't engage him.
Do you think? I feel like this time there's a lot of talk from Rigo this time about putting a show on for the fans.
You said that before.
Yeah, I know, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe the penny's finally dropped.
Also, though, he's coming to Britain, and Jazz is going to have sold a few tickets, and he seems like a fucking bit of an hard kid. I don't think he's just gonna if he gets hit a few times, I don't think he'll shell up. I think he'll just go for it and get knocked out.
The Mike Tyson quote, mate. That's what you've got to think about.
I mean, I'll give fucking Spaz his credit here. He's actually finally fucking pulled out the bag like a decent fucking thing. Rigo v Teddy after this. Hopefully, now I'd be fucking all for that.
Yeah, that's porn, that isn't it?
Oh, that's fucking filth. That's proper filth. That's basically when your uncle kind of fucking sticks two fingers up your arse and starts kissing the back of your neck.
Brian, where do your loyalties lie with this? Because you love Scousers, don't you? And you also love Rigo, so who do you love more? Your slick boxers or your Scousers?
No, I tell you what,
imagine a slick Scouser, you'd love that, wouldn't you?
Oh, that barely fucking let me right do with that.
Smith, does he fit the bill?
He's the only slick king is with his fucking grey hair. See, the thing is with Jazz, man, I like him because he's fucking backstory and how I'm a sucker for fucking that sort of stuff, but he's really had a fucking hard upbringing, and he seems to always be fucking cheery. You know how one of the people, no matter how shit your life is, you always see me find something positive. Where not that I hate it. Press Pass is just a dick. But he's a really nice wee guy. I actually have tried to get him on here, but because it just so happens that Queen coincided when he was just signing this fight, and every cunt wanted him, so he was never going to come onto this fucking sex offending show. No, obviously I'm going to pick Rigo. I still want the Rigo Dornier rematch. I still feel as if there's a bit of unfinished business here. Because I think Rigo's
shot. Dornier is absolutely shot.
No, I think Rigo's
see that Barres fight.
I think Brian, I agree with you. Rigo is past his best, but Dornier is further past his best.
I still think
Rigo would chin him.
Well, we want to see a definitive fucking ending then, wouldn't you? I'm fucking.
It wasn't definitive enough for you.
There is nobody that's going to fight Rigo other than I think Dornier.
Dornier has had 3.5 years to fight him again, and he hasn't wanted any part of it.
But none of them have got fights to fucking take. Nobody's going to fight Rigo, and Dornier's not going to get any cunt either.
Is anyone going to put the money up to have Rigo on a US network?
Well, just take Rigo to fucking Macau.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Could put it on a top rank show, I guess. But I just feel like Aram is so, anti Rigo now.
I
mean, we're not going to get Scott Quigg to come back here and fight.
Well, it's going to be Tete next, isn't it? Like you said, he's going to go up and he's going to be. Well, Tete's at what weight is Tete now?
Bantamweight.
Yeah, bantamweight. So that could easily happen.
Tete's will just come up to super.
Rigo can drop down.
Rigo can make bantam.
He can make 118 easy. Yeah.
Or just meet in the middle, do 120 or something.
Rigo could fight Shingo Wake. He could fight Cesar Juarez for a start. He just fucking smashed the fuck out of what's his face, the guy that you all picked at Albert Zara. He just fucking absolutely destroyed him. He could fight fucking Twinny Gav.
Big 20 Gav ices Rigo.
There's a few fights there for him that I think guys that would take it. Hopefully.
Do you reckon if Rigo looks really flat against Dickens, do you reckon Gallagher and Quigg would suddenly pipe up and maybe start talking about that fight?
Well, he's not to lose now. He's already got his fucking cash out fight, so.
October, November, I think someone said he's coming back.
I fucking don't know about that fucking show. Right, so we've done this. If we're going to go into the fucking hot list now, but before we go into the hot list, I just want to share my thoughts with some harrowing fucking scenes earlier on, and Paul Gascoigne. That cunt's going to die soon. I fucking hate Paul Gascoigne, man. I can't wait till that fucking me fake flip playing fucking scums bastard fucking juice capture and dies. This skinny cunt. Look at him fucking jumped out of a fucking taxi, bollock naked, never get his fucking bogey hanging out. Saying he's after the drinking the drugs. Let the fucking stay to him, man. He said I watched Nick Newman, Raoul Moat fucking died.
Yeah, it's about, I mean, like, Gazza's 49. He looks 70. Do you know?
I know.
Saggy fag going on as well.
Who the fuck is Gaza? Oh, Jimmy Five Belly's fucking bolted for you when you lost your money. There's another guy that learned his wife. What if Gaza was lodged as a boy? That's how he's a fucking mangle.
Oh, fucking.
Right.
Was he in the hot list then?
That's a straight in at number 3.
Right, hot list people. Who have you got at number 5? We've got
to throw nominations out and then we make the list from them. So.
Alright, okay. Right, you take over for the hot list.
Right.
Why can't we do Deacon of the Week?
Oh, that'll be raging, wouldn't it?
Andy Peel be raging! Fucking raging!
Not so much.
I'm epileptic with rage right now. Who done the deep list first? Who was the fucking ones who done the deep list first? Shut up, Smiddle, you look like a fucking alcoholic, you fucking boy.
When you tweeted last week saying we might do a live fight call for
oh, I popped up
where
right
did you get that idea from? The boxing rant prick.
Right, so nominate. Right, Shep, you take over for this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of my nominees. I mean,
are you doing good-looking men this week, or are you doing that?
No, I mean, I would nominate Guido, but we saw his wife last week, and I'm afraid he's let himself down.
He's coming out the hot list for that.
I think he is. Yeah. Garrido.
How's his wife a dog?
She's massive.
Not great, mate.
She's literally just giving birth, for fuck's sake.
She still look like a moose.
Oh, I say she
should be glowing.
I'm going to tweet him and say that his bird's a fat bastard.
He'll retweet it.
He'll retweet it. Someone tweeted him the day of his baby being.
Yeah, that was Reynolds.
Was it Reynolds?
Yeah. Like,
the dog or something.
He said, like, look at the state of that dog, and he and then Carpi screen grabbed it and said, I don't think Reynolds understands English, does he? It was amazing.
Right, my suggestions for the hot list is Brook, because he's gay and he's grew a set.
The nomination. Yeah.
He's grew a set, and he's going to fight Golovkin.
Tell you what about, how about this? It's controversial, but what about Hearn? In the past week, getting Golovkin over to the UK and standing up and telling the Eubanks to go and fuck themselves.
Hearn's never getting in this list. Just move on.
Putting it out
there. Orlando Cruz, because he's also gay and he's fighting this week, so there's a bit of a tie-in between that.
Can we put Rigo's travel manager on the hot list for managing to get him a visa this time?
No.
He might still get lost in Cardiff yet. So.
I think I think friend of the show, Dave Allen, needs one for taking the fight. He is the biggest fight of his career at 3 weeks' notice.
all right. Dave Allen.
Enough.
Dave Allen, 5. Agree with that.
Cristiano's moth. That needs to get in there because that was a hot looking moth.
Yeah, that was good.
That was fucking vile, man. What was that all about? They say like, I listened to a podcast this morning and they say that the place was infested with moths and eventually fucking birds and seagulls and all were coming into the stadium and not eat the fucking moths, and then they have disappeared and see when the fucking flares and all started taking off. They were all in the floodlights and stuff like that. That was fucking vile. They were all the goals and everything, just fucking hunters of moths everywhere. It was bogging.
They'd left the lights on apparently the night before.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I've told this story, but people don't believe me. But a moth did actually fly in my ear, and I had to fucking drive to A&E to get a fucking suction and all that to get it out my ear. It was fucking and any time that's how like I have to keep my windows closed because even when it's warm in case they fly in my room because I panic. But I was working doing deliveries, and fucking one flew in my ear. I stuck my head under a tap NORAP for some reason, thinking that me trying to drown someone stuck in my ear would work. And I phoned my sister, who's a nurse, and she says I need to go to the A&E, the ear clinic bit, and she just basically phoned like one of the nurses here and says my brother's on the way on. I took right away, walked right by every cunt with fucking broken legs and all, and I was like, see you. And they took me in there, and fucking, I could feel it flapping about my ear. It was fucking vile, man, and I nearly passed out. I will not lie, man. I do not like insects, and they stick something in, and it just kind of sucks it out. And you should have seen the fucking size of this, man. Oh, I nearly passed out.
You got nonce by a moth.
Oh, I did. That's where see once I start like killing people, like, fucking murder raping people, that'll go back to the night where the moth flew in my ear.
Right, I've got a similar story from when I was at school. We were, I think we were walking like from one class.
Did you nonce them off?
No. This is good though. It's very similar. I remember we were walking from one class to another and going down some stairs, and I sort of pushed my mate trying to trip him up or whatever, and he sort of stumbled forward, and then this black, like, it looked like a sort of dead bee or something, just fell out of his ear, and it was quite large. It looked like maybe sort of the size of lead at the end of a pencil or whatever, you know. And it fell out of his ear, and we weren't sure what it was. We picked it up, and eventually we realised it was the end of a cotton bud that had broken off and been in his ear for like. Must have been in there for months. It was completely black and completely hard. It was fucking horrible. Yeah. The perils of boarding school, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, but is boarding school not notorious for fucking?
No, I didn't actually go. I didn't actually go to boarding school.
Did you know?
Unlike Seb, who.
I bet you went to Sunday school, you wee fucking creep.
I did. I went to Sunday school until I was about.
You get fucking pumped off a priest.
No, because I wasn't Catholic Sunday school.
Well, you get pumped off a fucking.
Oi, I've got just quick. This is an easy question. Poncher or that Joy Phelps? You just got to pick one.
Phelps.
Poncher.
Alex.
Sorry, what? You've got to pick one of those two.
Yeah.
Poncher.
Do that you pick one and also the other at the same time. Well, I could see myself shagging the Poncher, and I wouldn't be surprised. Right, the press bar strategy.
That were the best of the questions this week, lads. Yeah, sorry if yours haven't been read out.
The questions were shite, to be honest. I didn't get any good ones.
Which one's going to ice Brian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, that was a good one. Right. Brian, are you ready for this?
We haven't even done the hot list.
Yeah, but I've come up with one name in 15 minutes.
Dave Allen is the
I'm putting in.
Dave Allen is the Deacon of the Week.
Cristiano's moth.
I'm putting in Cristiano Ronaldo, Andy Murray, Ricky Burns.
Yeah, Ricky Buchanan.
Ken Buchanan and fucking.
What about the bird who left Pop's van, so now he can't come on anymore? Is she on the hot list? I get an angry WhatsApp message in it. Can you fucking cunt?
No, fucking Lennox Clark for fucking shagging press passes.
For taking Chloe away to Ibiza,
yeah. Here chatting him, if you didn't know, fucking Lennox Clark, the professional boxer, went fucking press pass walked into his house, man, and he was fucking doing it in the fucking fridge.
Genuinely, there is a genuine funny story about Lennox Clark. I actually think he's a good nominee because what was that thing Paul said? He finished his fight, knocked the guy out in a round, and went straight from the venue to the airport to Ibiza. Which is
Lennox Clark
He didn't even go home to drop his stuff off. He went straight to the airport.
That's Ibiza for you, boys. Ibiza for you. Right, give this question to fucking ruin him.
Right, this is a good way to end. Right. So, given that Brian was unhappy with Brook going up 2 weights to fight Golovkin, someone tell me what's the difference. I'm reading this verbatim, sorry. What's the difference between that and McGregor going up 2 weights? Because Brian was well happy with McGregor.
One, I did not fucking criticise Brook for going up to like middleweight to fight Golovkin. My whole fucking issue was Golovkin fighting a welterweight. 2, Conor McGregor wasn't fucking fighting Diaz in the first place, and he took it in short notice because he didn't want a fucking the pay-per-view card to like collapse. 3, Diaz isn't even a 170 pounder. He just seems to. He was out of training camp. He was training for a triathlon or something like that, or for one of the fucking hardman fucking things.
Iron Man, I think it was.
And my whole point with Conor McGregor wasn't the fact that he was only moving up to 170 pounds. It was the fact is he won a world title by knocking out a guy that had been fucking running reign supreme for about 7 years or something like that. Not been lost in about 7 years. What does he do after that? I've climbed the mountain. I've got to the top. I'm going up to the next division. He wasn't meant to be fighting Diaz. I can't remember who it was he was meant to be fighting. The 155-pound champion. He pulled out with a broken foot, and he stopped for the fucking card collapsing. It wouldn't have collapsed anyway because Dana White's quite good at basically being able to carry a card on somehow. He was offered fights, and he probably thought he was taking the easier option fighting Diaz, but we all know Diaz. I always knew that Diaz was tough. And it's just two things aren't fucking similar at all. It'd be a case of basically like Brook.
If Brook went up 2 weight divisions like McGregor did.
Basically, Brook fucking was supposed to fight like Andre or something like that, and just fucked off and went on up to fucking fight like just a fucking regular like middleweight. Like, it's not the two things will say. Fuck you, that question fucking sucked. I'm killing that boy.
Brian, that's a C+ answer at best. I think Brian's been iced for the first time ever live. On that note, Cal, are you still here, mate? We've got a final question in from TJ. It's what is Calzone's favourite pizza topping?
Oh blood, it's pepperoni normally, yeah, but I like a bit of that sliced beef and that. I sometimes have a bit of ham, bit of chicken, bit of fucking.
That is proper G, like man. That is proper G.
Cal.
In the black community. We love our chicken in the black community. Fry it, fucking grill it.
We love our chicken!
You need to slow it down. Dial it back a bit.
Fuck off, pussy-o.
Yeah, that was good.
Fuck off, pussy-o. Prick.
Why you call me a fanny pad, man? Why you call me fanny pad?
Suck your mama.
Brian's impression.
I went all Nigerian there.
You sound
Why you calling me fanny pad?
You sounded like Aisha.
Oh, Brian.
Thanks for the fanny pad, champ.
On that note, Jamie Moore's book is available to buy in all good books. Hashtag People's Champ. Hashtag
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Hashtag Black Lives Matter.
The hashtag the fighter's fighter.
Yeah, I love that. I love that nickname.
Hashtag heterosexual Pride Day.
Press passport.
Hashtag I would love to fucking suck Ronaldo's balls. European champion. Yeah,
pretty good. We've done 2.5 hours there when there's been like one fight to talk about.
I don't think he's turned it off yet.
Still live.
And I'm looking at the camera here. I know Tommy Allen's at Alpha Male in the Boxing Asylum. If you want some, fucking come get some.
End it now. That's perfect.
Fuck the Queen. Fuck the 12th of July. Fuck you.